Good morning, strangers. Today we're playing Fabula Ultima with friends and co. Everyone say hi.
Hello.
Hello.
We got Fabula Ultima played. Do you guys remember what happened last time?
We visited two gardens. One that was completely fine, and the other was a little unkempt.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm fully going through my notes again. Yeah, we've been dragging along one of them coils to take back to how could I call it? Our woman,
Minerva Tass.
Minerva Tass. Yeah, we destroyed her blimp, so now we're bringing her a coil.
Sounds like a euphemism.
I'm gonna pop her blimp one day.
Yeah, and so we're heading on our way back down to Konohanawa. And on the way, we got stopped by some pompous piece of shit, Lord Tobuscus, and we made him pay us for our services.
1,500 zenit, which is no small chunk of change.
Yeah. And then
We have the money.
And we
have
have
been spreading the
going
rumor.
rate for our services.
Okay, this is my call right now.
Yeah. It stops people from asking us to do stuff for them for free.
We're at full on politician mode now.
Yeah.
I'm means testing everyone that asks me for help. Let's go.
Yeah.
This is definitely what. Never mind. No.
Jamin wanted to start some shit. You can tell the end. He's just like, I want to have a complaint. I want to get angry. I'm going to spend 3 hours being political.
He's had to be a good boy for too long. It's been all bottled up. He's got to vent it. We also visited Granfort, the walled city. Didn't spend too long there. We got a side quest.
Yeah.
Moved on and took the wheels off our cart.
We took on some magical pumpkins.
Who said bugs.
Yes.
And then you traveled down to the outskirts of Kumuhonua, which you were just about to enter. Your intended delivery destination of the art coils is where Minerva Tass is, injured as she was from the last time you were here with the excess magical expenditure causing potential nerve damage. Who knows what condition she's in right now?
I want to make a quick suggestion on that note.
Yeah?
Why don't Silex and Peleus go into town, and Flink and I will make the delivery?
Silex needs to haul that thing.
What?
I'm not doing that.
I thought we literally did have draft animals. I thought him playing it was a meme.
No, you guys were like, Silex is hauling. I'm like, okay, sure.
Oh, I've been carrying it. Don't worry.
Man, strong enough.
Oh, I thought it was a meme.
Silex carrying the team as per usual.
Let me try this again. Once we get there, two of you need to... Silex could stay, but someone has to babysit Peleus, and Peleus needs to get the fuck out.
What? I need to see my girl. She's going to be so upset not to see me.
You really don't need to see her. I really don't think she wants to see you.
You just think I'm going to block you, don't you?
That's exactly right. You got me, Peleus. I think you're going to cock block me, and that's why I'm sending you with Silex. You caught me.
All right.
I guess the soldiers could take over for Silex. They should be.
It's their problem now. He pulled it a bajillion miles. It's their problem to put it on the ship.
Yeah, at some point, those soldiers are probably going to be quite happy to get their hands on this arc. Because as of so far, they've been essentially like trapped in place. Yeah, they are trapped in place. The sooner that they can start getting that thing installed, the better. Especially given the way it was removed was incredibly rapid. Which means that while they may have been able to repair certain elements, they're still going to be limping back home.
I also assume that Silex cares about the progress of the rebuilding of the town.
Certainly.
Much more than he cares about the rebuilding of the airship.
Though
it's dual purposed, the suggestion here from Gawain.
Okay,
is just like,
I will just have to disappear into the village with Silex.
Terrible for you. You're going to have to go meet Silex's mother. That's so awful for you, Peleus.
Yeah, it's so awful.
Before she has a chance to leave, when you meet her, make sure that she sticks around long enough for me to thank her for what she did for my home. And
Minerva?
I'm willing to escort Peleus off into the village at this point.
Okay, so Peleus, Silex, you leave the arc coils with the soldiers who no doubt meet you at the edge of town. Like the moment someone is like, "Oh yeah, it's you guys," the soldiers who seem to have been like decidedly participating in the rebuilding of this place, given that they haven't had all that much else to do for the moment. They've been running what seems to be like security patrols and generally just being as assistive as they can, given the context of where they are and why. They happily take over the arc coils for you and let you go about town. Silex, you would be greeted by your mother. I can't say it. The brain doesn't work.
Erde.
Erde. You would be greeted by your mother in some rapidity, who is happy to have you back and greet you with a warm hug.
How does the reconstruction go?
The reconstruction's going well. The additional labor from the soldiers is making it go quite expeditiously, and she's going to smile at you and then say, with your team's heroic efforts, there were so few losses.
You are most welcome.
I ruffle Peleus's hair. I'm just happy that we could have done as much as we did.
Yeah, we could have probably not landed a blimp into the middle of the town. But we had to kill that Dinoretic somehow.
There is the question of what to do with the giant hole, certainly. They're not quite decided. Some think we should turn it into a reservoir.
Ooh, a lake. Lake Dinosaurus.
Do you guys need any help? Do you need me here for anything?
She's going to smile and then say, well, you could help us setting up the shop.
I would be delighted to. It's good to be home, Mom.
She will invite you to the frameworks of a rebuilt shop. It's not, the building isn't quite there, but it's shaped in the building, shaped in the way that it used to be. And while certainly many shelves are empty, and in fact there's missing counters and such, it's coming along to the point where it's almost functional. You think that, given another couple weeks, this is probably going to be maybe even an improvement on how it was before to some extent. After all, the complete destruction of the place has allowed them to, reconfigure it perhaps to the needs now learned.
Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing. I draw Peleus's attention to some of the stuff that my mother's selling. So I grab a little figurine. Everyone here has a baseline affinity for earth magic. And while I'm mostly here to run patrol and carry heavy things, my mother has always been more artistically inclined and can make the most beautiful carvings and statues. Stone is clay in her hands. And it's a super detailed statue of, I guess it would be Shiva. It's a lion.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
I always assumed that stone was clay.
As you wax lyrical about Erde's skills, there is a slight, not quite blush, but the kind of, oh my god, he's talking far too nicely about me type situation, right?
She deserves it.
It's nice to meet your wonderful mother. Your wonderful, beautiful mother. Who does not look a day over 30.
Say 13?
30.
Okay, 30, okay.
Important distinction.
Very important distinction. I'm aware that I use a lot of anime style avatars, so I just, when we click she does look like a woman, right? She's very much a woman.
I mean, she's just as big as I am.
Yeah, she's a whole ass woman.
Done.
With a fabulous mane of raven black hair.
And that's enough of you, Peleus. I think we should get going.
Good. That it will actually invite you to, given the fact that the space here is mostly remote, she will actually invite you to stay here and eat food and generally participate in life from here as you would.
Yes.
It's a little bit bare bones, sure, but there's spaces to sleep and there's furs and whatnot to bed yourselves in should you choose.
Yes.
Of the evening and whatnot.
I'm gonna bed myself. I'm cosplaying as Summer today.
God damn it.
That's some good cosplay.
But with that, unless there is a specific thing you wish to raise, Silex, we will move to the meeting of Minerva Tass and Gawain and Flink.
Go right ahead.
Gawain, Flink, you are fairly rapidly escorted on deck. I say escorted, less so in the you need to have someone with you to keep security, and
This
more
is the
so
good kind of escort.
Yeah, this is a kind of escort where they're like, hey,
there's 3 types of escorts.
and we're just going to make sure we're going to get you through the morass of people working to where you need to be, not the hey, we're going to keep you from breaking anything.
Good.
So you are brought before Minerva Tass, who is on deck, and she seems to be sitting in a purloined wheelbarrow.
Don't like that.
Led around by, if you remember, the lieutenant from before. Seems to be being pushed around by her instruction by him. And she will greet you. Gawain, it's good to see you. I understand you have our art coils.
We do. We brought them back. It seems like they're already being installed, so we're glad to have been of service, and it appears that they've been hard at work. You've all been hard at work.
She's going to nod with her staff laying across the wheelbarrow, slightly awkwardly propped up on it as she's sitting in there. Yes, indeed. Our current plan is we are to return to Talgard, refit and repair, and then from there, the plan is to pick up the trail and move on from there. What is your plan from here on out, Gawain?
Well, we can't. Either we'd like to join you, or we'd like to coordinate our search.
She's going to nod and say, I was hoping you'd say that.
We have a vested interest in traveling the continent anyhow. That's the only clue she gets.
She will nod and say, with the situation we're in now, we have to return to Talgard, and it will be at least a few days while we get repairs underway, restocking, and similar. The circumstances under the removal of the art coils did put us in a position where we are definitely going to need repairs for the airship. However, I am very certain that we could have you onboarded as paid auxiliaries for our current task, which would give you the flexibility to act in your own interests while working together.
Okay, a few rules. If we do this, the 4 of us act under my command, and you coordinate through me and Flink. Is that okay?
She nods.
We're only in this to stop the abuse of the spirits. That's where this cooperation ends, or where we would have to rediscuss.
Certainly. And given our target of interest, I think that our ideals will align, at the very least, until the elimination or capture of Dr. Koei.
Oh, and you can tell your boss that technically now our call rate for easy jobs is 1,500 Zenit, so I don't expect that, but see what you can get me. I definitely can sell the other 3 guys on this, and we're willing to help.
She will nod and then look at the anxious lieutenant from before, instructing them to write that down.
So we'll be riding back with you and reconvening after your repairs, and we'll need to make our own plans in the interim.
She'll nod and say, then I think we have an arrangement. And she will
I'm going to look at Flink and make sure that you're not just saying no to this before I agree.
Flink is just shaking. He's like, Did he just assign me some kind of authority? Oh god.
Jam developing flex pricing, damn straight. But she will offer a hand to shake, and you will see the tremor. Now that she's not like supporting her hand on her staff, you can see the tremor in her hand as she goes to shake yours.
I will not pretend that I don't notice it, but also won't be like, or anything like that.
Right.
Shake her hand. Just the same. I'm trying to give her the same respect that I've always given her.
Yeah, exactly. And, there's that intuitive understanding. Her grip is weaker, certainly, than it was before. There is that.
She balled out.
Yeah.
Nothing but respect.
Like she did everything she could to save as many lives as possible, and she paid the prices she needed to. And now she's in an awkward position where she's in a wheelchair.
It's okay. The three of us are we're here. We're here to make sure that was worth it, if you will.
So
she gets her money's worth.
Kumuhonua survived an assault that should have destroyed it.
Yeah, but we still got to take out what's his face.
That's true enough.
It'll be even.
True enough. Get some revenge. But yes, with that agreed, a few minor elements are hammered out with regards to logistics, but it's all like the superfluous secondary stuff that's not really that important and you're not actually worried about. The agreement in large, however, is, your auxiliaries. That means once they actually write up a contract, you'll be employed, but not inherently commanded. And as auxiliaries, you're not part of the military chain of command. So more like civilian contractors. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they can't shoot you for like desertion. The worst that they can do is refuse to pay you if you don't do what you're told to.
Yeah, which is fine by me. I'm not going to be responsible for Peleus's insubordination.
Yeah, it gives us a way to just disobey as well, without facing, without getting, what do I want to say?
Yeah, our motives are not the same.
Yeah. Maybe there will come a time where we have different goals. Can just act on our own.
Absolutely.
I think it's good. Apart from me being some kind of second in command, everything's fine.
You're not. Look, they're just going to tell you what we need. You don't have to make any decisions.
But what if I do have to?
Then you'll make a good one.
Oh god, the pressure.
Flake, you keep making good choices. Every choice you make is a good one.
I don't know, the pumpkins tell a different story.
I don't know, look, we're alive largely because of choices you made. So you can take it or leave it, man.
Huh.
Let's start walking.
Damn, Gawain, when did you become so cool?
Always.
Time passes. Kumuhonua is met by the sounds of construction, repair, and in the evening, perhaps a few days past, you hear the gentle hum of airship engines coming to life.
I love the sound of that.
Exhausts in the morning.
Once they're up and online, you get a message saying that tomorrow they'll be heading out to Telgard. It'll be a relatively slow pacing journey to Telgard because they don't want to stress the, quite frankly, improvised installation here.
Makes sense.
But if you have anything to do here, that you should do it before you head out in the morning. With that note, does anyone have anything specific they want to do, or are they just having comfortable socializations? Because I'm going to say Ode is very happy to have Silex around and is showing him off to literally everyone she can.
I mean, I'm sure that half the people here who knew me thought I was dead for how long I was gone.
And also, she loves going up to people and saying, "This is my son. He saved the village."
This is great.
It's hard for people to tell because of how tanned the skin is, but there's a little blush coming through. I don't know how to deal with it. It's too much.
Exactly. As Jaya says, for whom I am well pleased. So, you get some sleep, and you rest up well enough. However, in the middle of the night, Silex, you are woken by the sounds of battle and violence.
Oh no.
As you rise and leave the house, everything here is on fire. It's burning. People are running and screaming around.
Can I move? Can I touch?
Yeah.
Can I try to help?
You can do anything.
I try to use my shields to tamp out fire. I try to help people get out of buildings. Can I tell what's going on? Or is it all just confusion?
So as you immediately leave the house, your first thought is to start putting out fires. You attempt to put these fires out. People are running through. You notice that people seem to be running away from one specific location. As you mark your way there, because presumably you feel to run towards danger. I don't presume. I feel like at this point, Alex, I know your character.
Yes, we are going towards whatever's making people run.
You immediately turn to charge towards this danger, and as you run forward, you see before you witness this. Setting fires, crushing people, destroying things before you. You lock eyes with it.
I empower my shields and I run at him. You are not me!
You make your assault. Roll me an attack roll. 11 to hit, 15 physical. Is enough to hit. You strike blows into this creature. This creature that you've seen this. This is the reflection of you possessed by Nanto, infused with Nanto's energy, and you strike blows into it, and magma erupts from it as you carve flesh or pseudo-flesh with stone and magma rupturing from it and pouring over your skin and burning you. You strike it over and over again, and it still stands. It does not move to attack you.
Why won't you leave me alone? What do you want? Losing strength from my punches as they do nothing.
It stares you down, and you feel the flames that burnt you so much when you were the creature in front of you wrap themselves around and envelop you, just like Nanto's flame that Pelias summoned before. The same energy disgorging its way around you, burning your flesh, searing you to the bones.
No! Not again! I won't! I won't hurt anybody else. I try to create whatever cocoon around myself that I can with my shields, trying to hide from the flame.
As you try and hide from this flame, this all-encompassing burning, you try and create whatever barriers and protection you can. It just doesn't work. There is no protection from this flame, no way to separate yourself from it. And with that lingering moment of terror, you strike awake to a room not burning, with a faint smell of cinders around you as you look down to the bedclothes and see that they have themselves been scorched.
Put my face in my hands and run them through my hair. I get up. I try to take the whatever burnt laundry I can and take it outside to wash. And think to myself, we need to figure out a way to fix this, to fix me. This is getting worse.
I can honestly say that this is the first time I've heard about anybody burning themselves in their sleep.
Certainly not a common occurrence.
Yeah, we see the evidence of this. We know what happened because we're not dumb.
Assuming Silex isn't actively trying to hide anything, sure.
Okay.
No.
Well, okay. I have a weird idea. We're already trying. Let me fill you in on what I agreed. What Flink and I agreed to. I'm saying this just to make Flink uncomfortable. I think it's funny at this point.
How dare you?
I took a contract working. Minerva offered us more work, and it coincides with the goals of, I think, everyone here. So we're going to help look for Dr. Kawai. We'll be working with them until we finish that job.
I love this plan.
Yeah. So they're going to take us back to Telgard, and I think while we're there, Silex, we should probably have you see a doctor, not like a psychiatrist if we have those.
Oh, okay. I was about to say we already did that. I thought.
No,
not that one.
Yeah,
you mean a mind
this is
doctor.
happening while he's asleep. Yeah, this is ending Kawai will be important, but will that fix this problem? I don't know.
Okay, so we are not going to throw him into a volcano and see if that works.
Maybe that can be our third option.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to Kawai, we need to kill him until he's dead.
Well, yeah.
I'm definitely tuning out the throw me into a volcano part of the discussion and just trying to wash the sheets as best I can. Just gazing off into the infinite nothing.
I'm just throwing this out there that until Silex is better and he stops burning himself in his sleep, maybe it would be a good idea for him to stop in my bed so that I can give him a quick power if he needs it.
I feel like you could accomplish that by just being
I'm just
near
gonna
me.
shake my head.
I don't know how sharing a bed would help.
Well, I'm obviously not going to know about it. I often have my own room.
So, I have experience with this, actually. And I would advise against sharing a bed in this situation, because that will make things only more awkward.
What experience do you have about this?
Well, this is a very similar situation to things that younger humans experience when they are very traumatized.
I'm confused.
I take a deep breath.
How else would Flink be able to relate to trauma? Use your brain for an extra second, Elias. Come on.
Guys, it's okay.
Sounds like a human thing to me.
You want to find out?
Long term, I know that I'm going to need to solve this problem. For right now, we have other things to worry about. I will do my best to take care of this on my own. And when an opportunity presents itself, I will find the help I need. Okay?
Look, the four of us are going to Telgard with Minerva. They still have to repair the ship. They still have to, gather intel, figure out what's going on. Their web is much better than ours. We have time to burn. And it is not time wasted, or we should make sure it's not time wasted, so that when the opportunity comes, like you're talking about, we're ready. Okay? And what you don't need, forget me, what you don't need is to have this be a problem when when Kawai is around. So I think we can continue our journey. We should look at the list of spirits that we took, and see if there's anything around Telgard, and maybe the four of us can take it easy and still accomplish some stuff.
This is the day that we're leaving with Minerva, right?
Yes, the morning of when you're leaving.
Okay. Gawain, when we're done with our immediate mission, we follow up on whatever leads we have on Kuei. If we don't find him, we need to go to Kumuahi. That's the first place I would go.
Okay. I mean,
I need to.
Do you want us to? We could go there now. Like, they could probably drop us off there. We could walk back to Telgard.
You guys sure? I look around everyone else.
If that's what you need, we have time.
I have literally zero idea of what's going on. So I'm going to agree with everything.
All right, Peleus, let me try again. Kuei bad.
Right.
We're going to work. Yeah, you agree.
Yep.
You said you want to kill him.
Police dead.
We're going to work with Minerva because they give us the best chance to kill him. But,
yes.
Silex wants to go to Kumuahi, and we have time to kill while they repair their airship. So
this is true. We can just pop up there and then pop back down.
Yeah. So instead of getting a ride back to Telgard, we'll ask them to drop us off in Kumuahi, and we'll take care of whatever Silex wants to take care of and hike back to Telgard. And hopefully when we arrive, their repairs will be, underway.
All right.
One point of interest, there was that person, Hoke, who was quite upset about you being in Kumuahi previously. Now, you did kick his ass, but that may be a complication, that's all.
Yeah, but it's the only place that I can think of, the only place that Silex can think of that would potentially help with this problem.
You see to see it? That's what you think?
I'm visibly uncomfortable, but after a few moments of thinking it over, I need to meet with the spirit.
I
know that you guys aren't as familiar with how my elementalism is expressed, how my people relate with our spirits, how we are taught to engage with magic. But I need to try to see if I can, at the very least, slow this down, control it in some way. It might work.
They were afraid of Nanto, but that was before Sheba and the other spirits, joined us as well. Maybe Peleus can help show another side to them.
Maybe I could just summon Nanto and you can see that it's not that scary.
Honestly, Peleus, I hate saying these words, but I trust you on that. This is kind of your thing.
I mean, I don't want to just full on summon Nantos if you're going to be upset, because I feel like that would only make it worse.
Well, we'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah.
I want you to be there, Peleus, but
I'd have to be if I was summoning.
My hand shakes a little bit. Don't summon it until I tell you.
Okay. Understandable.
Okay, so your current plan is to go to Kumuahi, ask to be dropped off, essentially, and then make your own way back?
Yeah, by foot, I guess.
Okay.
As long as we're not going by ship from that one port that I totally forgot.
Severus port.
Don't worry about it. It's not real. It can't hurt you.
It's there. It's just around the corner.
So, on being asked to do this, Minerva Tass would seem a little bit hesitant, saying that it would delay, obviously, you guys reconvening in Telgard, getting access to the network, and possibly receiving future instructions. But she understands that, you guys do need, you guys are independent right? And she's not adverse to bring you to Kuma'ahi.
Okay.
There is the slight issue that...
I'll just tell her it's an investment.
Yeah.
I try to reassure her that this won't take long.
There is a slight issue that it is a foreign port. It's not one of the ports that she will be arriving at as an ally, per se.
They could just drop us outside and we could walk
Certainly.
in. If they don't want to deal with the political trappings.
But she does seem fine with the idea of delivering you to Kuma'ahi and you making your way back to Telgard City. She does ask you to be as expeditious as possible because she would like you guys to be... Like, you guys are clearly competent. You guys have run into Dr. Kuwait multiple times and survived and fought him off. She wants you on hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
That much is clear, especially given her current circumstances. But she's fine with dropping you off. But she does kind of express, yeah, I really would like you, like, once you're done, please go to Telgard City as quick as possible.
I promise it's relevant. We'll be there.
And she trusts you. But okay. We just established that we're dropping off one of the players who just had a PTSD episode, Kuma'ahi, to see if he can get some help from the spirits there. Because that's how mental health therapy works in this one.
Don't make me spend a Fabula point.
I would have another professional opinion on this, but we can't access that right now.
That's true. But you do technically kind of have access to an airship, so it's not necessarily impossible.
Yeah, it's like we are getting into a position where it's possible.
You could also spend a Fabula point to demand something. I'm just saying.
Yeah. We'll wait how this turns out.
Okay.
Can we have said that we've rested?
Yes, so you have had a proper rest. Just to be clear. You were sleeping in a safe space where nobody was trying to kill you. Even if you had bad nightmares, you still managed to get a full night's rest, mechanically.
Gosh.
I was overjoyed when he said, you all get to sleep soundly. And I'm like, yes, the healing button, thank you.
You get to sleep soundly. But also, I'm going to specifically custom make this little scene with animation and FX just to fuck with you.
I was not prepared. That was lovely.
Okay, so you get on the airship and Minerva Task will drop you off in Kuma'ahi.
Yes.
Over here.
Or are you being dropped off in or out of town?
You will be dropped off in town, but it is very much a whistle-stop drop-off. She isn't staying around because essentially she doesn't want to make the people here uncomfortable by having a Telgard warship sitting in the city.
Of course.
She very much wants to be like, hi, we've arrived. We're just dropping off some itinerant passengers. Yes, they're just from a local area. We were giving them a ride because they helped us out. We're going to drop them off and then we're going to leave so you don't have to be stressed about us being here and none of our military personnel are going to disembark.
I will wave her goodbye with my handkerchief. Goodbye. I love.
As we're leaving, I walk up to her and I extend my hand to shake it. And I kind of lower my voice, trying to keep it just a personal conversation. Thank you for all that you did, saving my home, protecting my people, the sacrifice that you've made. Please tell me if there's anything that I can do to help you in the future.
She's going to shake your hand, and again, you feel that tremble, the weakness in the grasp, and she'll smile at you and say, I hope that when we find him, we pick him limb from limb.
She sees the faintest flicker of ember behind my eyes. I would love nothing more. And I produce from my pocket a small bracelet, a stone bracelet with a gemstone embedded that my mother made, and I put it in her hand.
She will take it, thankfully, and you can see the expression on her face is briefly confused, but then I guess would be satisfied would be the following expression. Like, she wasn't expecting a gift, but she's got one, and it's quite a nice one, and she appreciates it. And she says, thank you.
And with that, I take my leave and move on into the city.
Okay, so you head onwards as Minerva Tass is once again wheeled around the airship by Lieutenant Masters so that she can give her orders. You are in Kuma'ahi, specifically at the port. You've just gone through port inspections, which was certainly made much smoother by Minerva Tass throwing a little bit of her official weight around. Although once you are out of what essentially accounts for customs, you are very much on your own in the city. It is sat in what is essentially the caldera of a volcano. It is very hot here. There is marble pillars and structures everywhere, layered up and over buildings. It's very much a stacked construction. It is somewhat maze-like to navigate due to its density. However, there is, with all people who've ever been in a city, you can kind of tell where there are like commercial areas, non-commercial areas, and like residential areas. And the port area very much leads almost straight into one of the major commercial areas or commercial industrial areas. What are your objectives here?
As much as I don't like it, we need to go to the Spirit's Shrine. I need at least Peleus to come with me.
Yeah.
I'm just following. At this point, Gawain is along for the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just following, looking for the dog.
We haven't met Akuma High's spirit, have we?
Yeah.
You have not.
Yeah, Flink and I are just like becoming like we're developing a rapport in the C plot of the episode.
Yeah. I'm becoming mildly envious about the fact that my bestie is becoming best friends with somebody else.
It's his fault. He put me in a position where I need to do stuff. I didn't want this.
Is that a bond increase that you've had?
It does. It does potentially sound like it. If you want it.
Look, we're always going to take the money.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's appropriate, especially considering the time period you spent resting as well. To solidify that, you're welcome to increase or adjust your bond by 1 as appropriate. So, you would find that Kuma'ahi, whereas Kumuhonua has the Sanctum of the Spirit very much hidden away in its depths, maintaining security through obscurity, Kuma'ahi, by comparison, is much more open about where the spirit resides. It is not difficult to find directions by asking passers-by here, almost all of which have like incredibly bronzed skin and are wearing the lightest clothes possible. But you can find directions to this locale, and the place itself, the construction itself, is an opulent construction with columns and stone and marble. It is clearly crafted as a place of stern authority and security, similar to how banks are often constructed. There is very much a sense that this place is important. And you note that there is a not insignificant amount of people passing in and out, though almost all of them seem to be wearing distinctive outfits, and you would presume that this identifies them as a person of some kind of stature. Silex, you would personally know, even though it's, Kuma'ahi isn't your hometown, you would personally know that this denotes them as this outfit denotes them as someone with the favor of the spirit. Based on a quick examination of the area, you don't imagine that the Sanctum of the Spirit is somewhere you can simply just walk in. You are probably going to have to do something to get someone to allow you to go in, possibly going with someone or similar.
I will shimmy around the place I will give people a good look until I feel like somebody looks like a person of authority in this area. And I will say, hello, I am.
I have a question.
Okay.
Can Nanto, like, in this scenario, like is Nanto, for instance, able to identify other people who, like do they see the other spirits, if that makes sense?
Without being summoned, that would probably be challenging.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like, because Nanto and Peleus have some weird thing going on. That was the only reason I thought.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway,
there's certainly a connection there.
I wasn't trying to cut you off, Sam. I was more like trying to figure out what, like what you were like discussing. I was like, okay, like what is CC?
Peleus, you have you've identified someone of some authority, someone who gave instructions to one of the idol guards here.
Yes.
I say guards in a very loose term. The kind of the guard in the same way that a bouncer stands there and makes sure nobody starts anything type energy.
Yes. So I'll walk up to him and I'll say, so who do we need to speak to in order to get to see the spirit?
There will be a confused kind of eye furrow.
Oh, right. My name is Peleos. I am from Tailguard City. Nice to meet you. I am also a summoner of a sort. You might be able to tell by my splendid white fur. And I am here to make sure all the spirits are happy.
I interject at the end. Also, my name is Silex. I am a pilgrim from Kumuhanua, and I need to converse with the spirit here.
Yes.
There will be, like, a furrowed brow and thoughts before saying, I can understand a pilgrim, but what cause has a Pactlander arcanist to come here?
I am trying to teach Peleus about our culture, the way we live with our spirits, to try and help them understand and to bring our people closer.
This is true. I have learned an incredible amount. I don't even know what a Pactlander is. There's a lot that I've got to learn about spirits.
A Pactlander is you, one who makes pacts with the spirits rather than learning from them.
Ah. You see, it's just because I'm epic. Sorry that the spirits don't love you in the same way they love me, but...
And how many have you put in bondage?
Not many. Nanto was going wild, and he was being forced against his will to harm people. Shiva was also in a situation. And then there's the other one.
I interject again. Kumuhanua's spirit is still free, living amongst and teaching our people, but has also been pacted by this arcanist, and it's not something that we've seen before.
Oh, yeah, I don't steal the spirits.
There will be again like this deeply furrowed brow. And then they will follow with,
We're trying to explore this abnormality further to see if there's more to learn.
So, Silex, you can obviously tell that this person, having been in discussion with this Pactlander, was very adverse to the interaction. The idea of this Pactlander coming to Kumuahi and going to their most sacred space here.
Mm-hmm.
But on the inquiry of this dual nature of a pact, they're definitely very curious about this situation. And they will say, go ahead.
I'm curious. Given the fact that we have this term Pactlander, does that mean that he's possibly heard of or have met my father?
And what is his name?
Iro, I think. I don't know his last name, but his first name was definitely Iro. Nobody's told me his last name. I should have asked. He was from Row Village. He would have looked a bit like me.
He's going to glance at Silex and briefly glance at Flink and Gawain behind you. I presume you guys are behind?
I'm going to smile and wave.
Okay.
Yeah, like if he makes eye contact, I'm going to make eye contact and just be like,
what's up?
He will say, I will let you speak with the lawkeeper.
Ah. Brilliant. We all know that we've never had any issues with lawkeepers.
I don't recall.
Lore keeper.
Oh, that kind of law. L-O-R-E.
Yes, L-O-R-E. Okay, so this quite stern-looking fellow will go inside, and after some minutes, you will be invited by a guard to enter and go into kind of an antechamber to the main area, where you will find a notably less stern, sensing man who's sitting at a table. There are some seats arrayed. It looks like this is a larger conference room that they have just kind of taken on momentarily. And they'll say, come in, please sit.
Okay, thank you.
I understand that you are a Pactlander, and you have had some interesting interactions with the spirits.
I have, and I am apparently, but I'm not looking specifically to make a pact with the spirit here as much as I am to learn.
Good, because were you to attempt to make a pact, we would have to kill you.
I do understand that that was where the situation was going. However, just keep in mind, just be open to what I'm about to say to you. There is a raving lunatic which is taking spirits and forcing them to do certain things. So, I'm glad that you've got really good security. But were that to happen, I may have to make a pact with the spirit in order to essentially free it from that madman.
I strongly doubt that even the maddest of men would attempt to attack here.
I'm really happy to hear that. But this madman has carved out his own brain and is living in a jar. It's like
he's
a
going
totally
to
different...
look across the group here and be like, I sense perhaps there's a madman already among us.
I'm just trying to inform you of the level of madness.
You're not wrong, but he's also telling the truth. But that's not the primary reason that we're here.
Yeah, we're here to learn about the spirits, and
Peleus, I need you to help me converse with the spirit here. I will be offering what is effectively a prayer that I am hoping will be answered, and if it isn't, or I do not receive the help that I need, I will need you to help me talk better. For lack of better words, I don't understand
So
this as much as I could.
Just to be clear on Silex's part, you're kind of like in an antechamber where this guy's judging if they should even let you in to see the spirit type thing.
yeah. Well, this is like, I'm sorry, Master. What's your name again?
Why are you making me think up names? You think up the name. It's your problem now.
Garrick.
Garrick. Master Garrick.
I'm sorry, Garrick. Sir Garrick, if it was, or Lord Garrick. But I'm only here to converse with the spirits. there is no going to be no pacting going to be happening. Merely conversations to help my friend here, and also to help me learn.
I may permit it, but first, I want to know everything about the Kumuhanuan spirit.
Oh, Shiva.
What happened with you and them?
Well, Shiva's still there. It's more like when I summon Shiva, Shiva comes to me for a little while, and then Shiva goes back. Spirits are kind of ever-present that way.
You can see, like, thoughts ticking over this person's mind. So I think rather than have everything explicitly explained, what we're going to have is this person will assail you with a barrage of questions about the minutiae of exactly what you experienced.
Ah.
And they're writing stuff down, and they're making notes, and they're clearly, like, concerned about what's happened here.
I understand. They are taking in my wisdom.
Oh, okay. That's what Peleus is perceiving as. Okay. Got it. Understood.
They understand that to have somebody who can truly converse with a spirit in the way that I do is something very special and grand.
Excellent. So the rest of the party kind of understands that they are treating this as hostile information, as in this is they're thinking, this could be something that the Packlanders could use to usurp the safety of their spirits, and that they definitely need to make sure that they're trying to find some protection against that.
I think that this might be a good thing for them. It is definitely a good thing for you to get some protection. If that Dr. Kawai comes over here, then you actually knowing how to stop somebody from forming a pact with your spirit would be pretty nice.
Gawain, you had some pictures that you drew of Dr. Kawai, right?
I do.
Are you going to offer to share them, or are you going to remain silent on that?
I'll trust them. I don't see why not.
Okay.
I'll give them my intel.
So while I know that you're not sharing, like, whole cloth exactly all your objectives and stuff, this person is quite a good interrogator.
I can open up the book and show them the pictures.
They seem to believe you a lot more once you show them the pictures. It would be kind of insane if you... Like, it's one thing to say, yeah, I saw some weird stuff, and it's another thing to say, yeah, I've got detailed, like, schematics and pictures of what the functions were and what happened, right? There's a distinction between those two things.
Especially coming from Gawain instead of Peleus.
Exactly.
Yeah. It coming from somebody that speaks with a sound of wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not wise. Don't talk about it like that.
But in comparison.
I just know a lot. It's different.
So,
oh, you're smart. You're not wise.
You would, after this kind of barrage of questions, which does take, like, many hours, there's a lot of information to converse, and this person seems very adamant. Like, initially it started out as, like, a very unserious thing of, like, these guys are crazy, but I need to say hi and ask them about it in the first place. And then it continues on with, oh, actually, like, this is kind of serious information and seems accurate enough that I need to write all of this down. And by the end of it, they're, like, asking for, like, a writing aid to write down minutes of the meeting and so on. Progressively getting more and more serious. As this trends onwards, you get to the point where they seem to have extracted as much information as they can. And then they will say, very well. It seems to me that the correct idea here would be to allow you to converse with the spirit, and they shall ensure the veracity of what you say.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
They will make an arrangement for you to be allowed to enter the sanctum the next morning, and they are very clear that you will be doing so with somebody there.
All right.
As in one of their staff.
That seems reasonable.
Oh, yeah. They need to make sure that I don't accidentally sneakily make a pact with their spirit.
Yeah. They have someone there to execute Peleus if Peleus tries something like that.
Yeah. I'll hold a gun to my head and I'll be like, oh, this is really good protection for me.
Yeah. 100%.
I can't do much about this.
Just stand on the other side of Silex. My new best friend.
100%.
My old best friend abandoned me.
So dramatic.
I assume he was always like that.
Yeah. He has, I mean, as long as I've known him, yeah, pretty much.
How is Peleas on parties, though? I feel like he would be... Like, nobody takes him seriously, but he's very fun to be around.
So, like, it depends on the party is the weird thing. He's great, like, but the way that you enjoy him is different. So, like, if we went to a party, like, you know, like with, like, my friends, let's say, like, it would be very funny for you and I to watch him and laugh. Whereas, like, when he's with, like, his people, it's more like, it's like being at the zoo.
Oh, God. Not a good picture.
Well, I mean, the zoo is fun.
For somebody, the zoo is fun. But if you're part of the zoo...
No. Again, you pretty much always, if Peleas is the party, you want to stand against the wall. You just want to watch.
It's that kind of party, I see.
Yeah. Don't get involved in Peleas's nonsense.
Wait, Peleas, how did you do that? I'm sure your mother took you to, like, official parties.
Official sorties, yes.
How did you survive?
Well, it's rather simple, actually. Nobles are just easy to get along with. They all love me. I am the prince's cousin. There's not much I can do wrong.
In my experience, Peleas sits atop the bell curve when discussing the intellect of nobles.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't want to meet those nobles, do I?
I like he says, I'm on top of the curve.
Yeah.
I'm ahead of the streets, as some people might say.
Some people might say that.
I definitely am doing great in noble society. They all love me.
Yeah, I can see that. And now it all makes a little bit more sense. I learned something.
Yeah. It's only out here where I'm having issues.
You know, where people have to have common sense in order to survive.
For some reason, people don't seem to rush to try to understand what I'm saying. It's almost as if I have to make myself known.
Hey, Peleas, ain't no time for that, honey. We're all trying not to die.
Yeah. All right. Understandable.
It's okay. Hey, we're having fun, right?
I will try not to get you killed.
Okay, can you just go in there and help Silex, please? Just don't do anything don't get shot, and then me and Flake won't have to get fired. How about that?
Yeah, there is a day to where you got until the next day to do what you need to do.
Oh, my bad. I thought we were quibbling in front of the guy. I was like, damn, this is bad.
We're just on our way out.
Oh, we're just shooting the breeze. Okay, we're just shooting the shit in our hotel room or whatever.
I do wish I had some City Noises RPGX Omega. I didn't know that they were going to come here, so here we are. You know,
we're flying by the seat of our pants.
There you go. Just sample that and put it on a loop.
Put it on a loop.
It sounded like you were doing a Dracula one.
I was just trying to do guys in a tavern.
It sounded like you're doing a mumble rap mock. Like,
it's actually me doing a chainsaw.
Okay, so you have a day free to explore the city as much as you wish. I'm assuming that you can get something that passes for lodging here. Though if you want like something nice, you are going to have to spend some Zenit on that.
Or do we?
Can you steal a hotel, is what you're inquiring. The answer is, Flink, probably yes. Peleus, no.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I mean, Peleus could just buy the hotel.
Peleus, if they had documentation from their mother,
yes,
could buy the hotel. However, Peleus does not have such documentation, as Peleus is meant to be striking out on their own these days.
Yes.
And not handing over several thousand zenit transportation fees to their mother, who then has to argue through Port Severus's communication network that she isn't paying for this bullshit.
Yeah, I always assumed that I was just going to stay at home with my mother for the rest of my life. You know, live on the couch.
As most nobles do.
As all good dogs do.
Incredible. I love the subtle critique at wealth that this campaign has.
I like how you say it's subtle.
The thing about art.
The thing about art is you only get to do it if you're wealthy, because if you're poor, it's just work until you die.
Yeah, if you're poor, then they're going to outsource AI to do that, apparently, now.
Yeah, if you're
100%.
poor, it's called...
Nope.
Yeah, if you're poor, it's called a hobby.
Yeah, if you're poor, it's called a hobby. That's not even wrong. That's the worst part. That's an accurate summation of how... Anyway, you're burning a day. What are you doing there? What are you doing?
I am following Silex, like
a good
paranoid
Okay.
mother.
So we're just waiting, and we don't have anything we need to accomplish.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that I'm on vacation in a place I've never been before.
Absolutely.
Basically.
Yes.
Okay. We can't get drunk because you guys have a thing to do, but
Damn it.
I bet we can, walk around and then eat something really good. Eat some food.
Yes.
Certainly.
There is actually something else that I would like to do while we're here.
Okay, but you have to take me to lunch afterward, somewhere that you know is good, that I haven't had before.
Okay. I will do my best.
I want local food. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been here.
So I go through my pack. I still have a leaf gifted to me by the kobold from the woods outside of Kumuhanua that I've been sitting on for a few weeks at this point. Anyway, not important. I have been saving it because the craftsmen here are world-renowned, legendary. If I want something made, I want it made here. So I'm going to look around, poke around, try to figure out what I can do with this and what material I would need to provide in addition to get something out of it.
Okay, so what do you envision this being like?
Because, the leaf obviously has magical properties that I don't understand.
Certainly, it is a magical leaf.
Yeah. That a artifact craftsman would be able to understand and incorporate into something. I'm imagining it would be like some amulet or some incorporation into armor of some kind to provide whatever magical benefit it's going to provide. Maybe crushed up and then turned into some potion. I don't know. I know we had a table of ideas, but we never decided on anything.
Okay, so you are navigating the city of renowned craftsmen. Glasses, metals, and stone are the primary constituents of the craftsmanship here. Your immediate investigations would net a whole bunch of people who have no idea what to do with a magical leaf.
Okay.
However, you would come across one of the smaller craftsmen who, upon being presented with this thing, and you essentially go, hey, I've got this leaf. I don't really know much about it. What would you recommend? Upon being shown this, they would look somewhat confused. and then say, "Where did you get this?"
It was given to me by a kobold that we saved from corrupted monsters outside of Kumuhanua.
They would nod and then say that. I'm trying to think here because you're making me do everything on the fly for this, right? Like normally I did several hours of preparation, none of which you're going to see this session at this rate. I want to be clear
we
about
threw
that.
everything out.
Yeah,
I'm
you
so
threw
sorry.
literally everything out.
This is definitely on me, guys.
It's okay. We can use it next time.
They will suggest that given its gift in the sake of protection, that it would almost certainly be a gift cementing a bond and alliance, and would most likely be best served in creating something in that same kind of realm. As a symbol of an alliance, it would be most likely used to enhance any kind of magic to protect your allies.
Okay, interesting.
The best form for that, the most traditional, would be a shield. But if you were to incorporate it into an amulet, it could almost certainly be used to apply a defensive element. They think that it could be used to provide protections from certain magics.
Okay.
They're not personally familiar with it, though.
Yeah. So his estimation is if I want to make it into an amulet, it will provide specific magical protection.
Yes.
Or I could find a way to incorporate it into a shield and provide like a blanket bonus protection.
They would actually say that given you are I imagine that they're one of the few people that could actually recognize this, but given you're a Hanuan and that they know a little bit of the magics there, they would go as far to say they would presume that you would summon your weapons.
Yes. So if I wanted to make it into a shield, I could have like a permanent bracer or like a wrist
it could be
guard
used as a
that
focus as your shield.
I kind of like that. Have a permanent fixture, a small gauntlet that has the leaf in it that I draw earth to.
Yeah, it would essentially be like where you focus the power through to produce an enhanced outcome, most likely being of increased defense. This is a fairly rare object to be in the hands of.
Yeah.
People don't get gifted things by monsters, and when they do, those things tend to be unique, to say the least.
The only rule is that when you make your shield around it, it has to make the same shape as the leaf.
Yes, almost certainly that would be the case.
For flavor.
Okay. So they just become
sick.
They just become like arrowheads.
Yeah. Well, on the one side, right?
Yes, it's asymmetric now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I like this. I like this plan. So what if that's what I want to pursue? What metal do I need to collect for a craftsman?
They would say that in this specific case, it wouldn't be metal, it would be wood, most likely.
Okay.
And they take a glance around and say, you're not going to find someone experienced with that here.
Okay. So I need to find some enchanted wood and figure out a way to craft it together at that point. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
They'd actually thank you for bringing something so unique for them to examine.
Lovely.
I just think it's odd that he thinks that leaves are unique.
Well, this leaf is.
Peleus, you know where this leaf came from. This leaf is special. That's why I've kept it so long. Have you noticed me collecting leaves on our journey? No, this is the only one.
It came from a coal boat. It could have been toilet paper to them.
I mean, it has maintained its health and vitality. So, if it is toilet paper, it's magical toilet paper that is forever soft.
It's definitely strong.
All right, so that's now a long-term objective for me. Filing that away for later. I have nothing else planned. We can go dining in the city with Gawain.
In that case, I want to try what I have heard is the delicacy of Kumar High.
Okay.
Candy floss.
Candy floss, wonderful.
Yes.
Why? Like, why is it the delicacy here? Like, why?
I've heard about it. I've never seen it. I've heard that it is knitted into great tapestries.
Candy floss knitted into tapestries.
It doesn't even sound like real food.
What will they think of next?
This is an artisan place.
What is it, like the glass blowers?
Not to
for sugar.
Not to profile, but I genuinely thought we were getting I don't know, not that.
I was thinking steamed food would be very popular because you have all the geothermal energy that you can use to steam food. That was my thought process, right?
Can I get some dumplings or something?
Yeah, I was thinking dumplings.
House, like a tea
all kinds
house.
of dumplings and teas and the kind of place where there's natural spas and such.
Maybe they'll have some. Maybe they'll have some candy floss at the tea house. If that's really their specialty here, then that'll be on their little list.
No. Okay. Here, I can blow the Fabula point if we really want, and we can force this to be the.
You
the
can do what
food.
you want with your Fabula points. I am fine with that.
Please, if
I'll
anyone
do it.
who has some, please. I have 2, so I'm
I will spend it. I'm officially spending a Fabula point. Do I need to click the feather here?
Please, I want tea and dumplings side.
Okay. Yes, the cuisine of Kumuahi I am relatively familiar with because I am from this part of the world. There's a lot of hot food, steamed food, tea, dumplings, there's grilling, and there are some things done with fire and sugar, like the glass makers have done something to make a special candy.
Got some candy art.
Yeah, but that is the identity.
I like it.
Okay, so dumplings and so on are an absolute specialty with the steamed foods. It would trend towards less of a char taste in a lot of these things, and in fact, there is the interplay, right? Because you have some charred food served with the more subtle steamed food to work them together. There's probably a distinct lack of predominant carbohydrates, so less on the rice element, and probably like some kind of beaten tuber type thing that they make that pastry out of, giving it a unique texture. And the unique thing, the sugar confection to which Peleus has heard of, candy floss would be less accurate. It's actually more of a sponge sugar type situation with almost glass-like bubbles of sugar over desserts. However, the skill required to make that is quite expensive.
I will pay for it.
You'll pay for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Peleus can get their treat.
Hand over your 10 zenith then.
All right, I will hand over my 10 of zenith.
Man, I'm hungry. This has been lovely.
There we go.
The food that you can find is quite delicious. And most commercial streets offer at least some, so it's quite difficult to not just be like, oh, this guy's offering a giant pot of soup and dumplings, and this guy also just going down the road, right?
May I add something to the Fabula point expenditure? There are lava-dwelling fish and like amphibian creatures, and the lava fish that are cooked here are the signature dish.
Excellent.
How do you cook a lava fish?
Carefully. You know what? It'll be like ceviche, which is like acid cooking rather than heat cooking.
Exactly. It's a matter of cooling
I would have just assumed it would have been taking the skin off. Only the skin would have been heat proof.
I like the idea of it being a matter of cooling it so that you can add the acid without the acid getting like denatured. And that's the skill profile. Because you want to serve it hot enough that it's still hot, but not so hot that it just boils off the acid. So yes, that's the famous savory dish. Exactly, Shattered Ice. You can fish anywhere.
I did it just for you.
So you have, quite frankly, a delicious culinary experience so far away from what you would have in Telgard or even Port Severus. In fact, it's kind of insulting now, considering that Port Severus was so close to here and they didn't include any of these foods, right? Certainly they could import lava fish, right?
It's the fun part of traveling is that you eat the things.
Exactly.
I'm suspicious of it, but I will still eat it.
I'll eat anything once, unless I think it's going to kill me.
Luckily, none of it kills you. So, you have this wonderful food. You spend the night in what passes for accommodation here. Everything is swelteringly hot, regardless of where you are, though. There is no way to get away from the warmth here. And the morning arrives, whereupon you take your way to the Sanctum of the Spirit, and I assume go to enter.
Yep. As ready as I'll ever be.
You are met by one of the largest Kumuahians that you've seen so far, alongside a more slight one in the in the clothes of the more religious actors here. You can tell intuitively this is going to be the person, or persons, I should say, that are going to be with you in the sanctum to ensure that Peleus doesn't try and do anything immoral. They are, however, they seem quite comfortable to let you take the lead, aside from telling you where you need to be. As far as the actual interactions, there is a queue, somewhat informal, before the sanctum as people wait their turn to enter. There is a surprising, solemn quietness here, which you haven't found in most of the rest of the city. The rest of the city seems to be like relaxed but alive. Here, there seems to be like a deliberate attempt to be calm and quiet, and it is even hotter here than it was outside. The air is dry, as though the heat here is literally driving moisture from this room.
This place is hot.
Flink is going to look at Peleus and tell him, don't think about skipping line.
There's a line?
Yeah, we are waiting. Don't.
I didn't notice it. Genuinely, I've never been made to wait in a line.
Damn it,
like
I made a
before.
mistake.
Okay, I'll wait. How long do lines usually take?
The best part about lines is that you don't know.
Do we need to entertain Peleus?
I've got a fun game for you.
All right, Peleus. Here, let's all sit down in a circle, and I will pull out a pack of cards.
Right.
Peleus has played before, but I'll start dealing cards. This is what we're going to do.
As you take out the pack of cards and start going to deal them, you will get a look from the religious minister here. Or, I guess pseudo-religious. It's not like a full-on religion, but...
I'm going to look at him and be like, I have to entertain my child, sir.
No comment is made, but you can tell it is disapproved.
Yeah.
Look.
Fine, he doesn't know what we have to deal with.
It's fine. We're not going to be disruptive.
It's okay. I can wait peacefully and calmly.
Okay.
Do they bring beverages to people in queues?
No.
Oh, how disappointing.
We're going to stand here patiently with our thoughts. You're going to think about how important this is, the spirit is to this place and these people, and what it means that you are allowed in here as someone who is the antithesis to what these people believe.
It is bizarre, I have to admit, because I didn't even know that spirits existed more than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so you just let that tumble around.
And now I find out that I'm like their version of something demonic. It's pretty unique.
Let the hamster run, let the gears spin, and in like half an hour, tell me where you are.
I'd still be here, wouldn't I?
Yeah, probably.
Hopefully, in fact.
Can we ask the people in front of us if they actually desperately need to get in?
No. You are going to remain right here with us.
Okay. Peleus, this is actually I have a good version of this lesson for you. You know how you just thought about all that stuff that you have to just sit here and think about?
Yeah.
And it's really important, right?
Mm-hmm.
They also have stuff that is like that for them.
Yeah, but I don't think that they are summoning spirits to save the world at this particular moment in time.
Yeah, but we're gonna leave tonight or tomorrow morning either way. So, like, yes, we are trying to save the continent. We are trying to stop, like what I can only describe as a really, really, really bad guy. But that we should only play that card when it's actually meaningful. Otherwise, we're just assholes.
Can I just say, I feel like I don't know if I would call it like bizarre security around this area. It might be good to stop somebody like Dr. Kwai, because he's obviously a nutcase.
Yeah, that's why I shared my drawings with them. Because
but it's obvious that Dr. Kwai is working for somebody else who probably doesn't need to announce any of this stuff because he looks more inconspicuous and could probably just walk straight into the place and form a pact with Spirit if he is some sort of summoner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not totally sure that they're making pacts.
Yeah,
I think they're kind of skipping that step.
I think there's a technological solution that we have yet to see.
That are bypassing what you do.
I would note, Peleus, so far you've always felt the need to have at least some level of consent from the spirits that you've attempted to pact.
Yeah.
You don't think, based on your current experience, that it is something that you could force on a spirit.
I also think that Nanto pretty explicitly said he was coerced.
Yeah.
Like, it was not good. It was actively like a negative relationship.
Stuffed into a box against his will, and the boxes, just to be clear.
Yeah, totally. We get it. And we saw a lot of boxes. So did you. Anyway.
Roll my shoulders in discomfort.
So, the point, Peleus, is that while all of that's important, we're going to leave here tomorrow morning, whether we talk to that guy now or in 4 hours. These other people have really important stuff going on, too.
4
Not a big deal for us
hours?
to wait. I made a big number up, but it could be that long. If it's that long, we'll take the cards back out, okay?
All right.
The queue, such as it is, it's very much more informal than like specifically people lined up in a row. It's more like, you know, there's groups of people standing in the rough order that they're going to see them in, and everybody's trying to pretend that they're not literally waiting for the next group to come out, right? But eventually, your time does come, and you are invited into the inner sanctum. And as you pass the threshold here, the energies, Peleus, that you've been feeling here, kind of, they feel like they are magnified 100-fold. And so as you pass the threshold, it feels like somebody turning on a light in a dark room. That brief moment of being blinded before your eyes adjust, that's the sensation you get.
Guys, I think this is a strong one.
As you are here, there is Peleus. In fact, it's so strong that everyone in the party has some sensation of this, though Peleus has the most nuanced version of it. There is a sensation of authority here. Not baseless authority, but like a kind of confident authority of you are in the place where the heart of magma resides. That is what I control, and I have complete and total dominion over this space. That is the sensation you experience. But it's not hostile. It's more just like an absolute confidence.
I'll say, what is your name?
I'm going to ban you for asking for names, Summer.
I actually lean over. This spirit's name is Ika.
Is that E-I-K-A?
I-K-A.
Oh, there we go. Ika.
She is the spirit here.
Ah. And you're a magma spirit? A flame spirit? Fire-esque adjacent?
Magma and glass would be what you understand.
Ah.
Are we at the shrine itself?
Yes, you are within the inner sanctum. This is the place where you talk with the spirits. There are surrounding the room, there is a gentle flow of glowing liquids. The heat in this room is not something that you think you could stand here for more than like 15 to 20 minutes. It is genuinely like you are, despite your impressive constitution, struggling to be here, just to physically exist here.
Is the air situation so bad on purpose?
Probably just a byproduct of the spirit. Its presence.
So, Silex, what did you want to say to...
I'm silently walking forward, and I sit down in the middle of the room. I cross my legs, place both of my hands across my legs on my lap. I close my eyes and just start talking into the heat.
I awkwardly copy him.
Ika, I am here for your help. I am a child of Earth, not terribly far from here. I've spent my life, as all of our people do, learning from Sheba, our spirit. And I have been corrupted, hurt, violated. Another spirit who is actually with us today was forced into me and has awakened within me an ability to control fire that I don't have proper control or understanding of. None of our people have ever been able to use more than one magic, one element. And now I'm wondering if you might be able to help me, if not fix what's been done, help me control it enough that I'm not a danger to everyone around me.
Or fire himself in his sleep.
Yes, that was the intention, Peleus.
So,
yes.
Peleus, as this is said out loud, you feel a slight, almost a sensation of energies tugging on your spiritual energy, tugging specifically on your link with Nanto.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing forceful. Like there nothing trying to pull it away from you, but you have an intuitive understanding that the energies here want you to call forth Nanto.
Okay. In this case, I call forth Nanto.
With your willingness to do so, Nanto manifests easily. Like normally it takes like a bit of effort to merge with a spirit. In this case, with the energies kind of providing a conduit, Nanto, or the spiritual energy of Nanto, kind of blossoms into the room where there was just molten liquids in this oppressive heat. Now there is fire dancing across the space. As this happens, Silex, you see this fire, and this fire is familiar to you. It is the same fire you've seen and that has burnt you and that scares you. But as this happens, there is the figure of a female rising from the molten liquid, seeming to be made from glass as they rise up. And they seem to go through the motions of talking with expression, staring into the fire and twisting their head, but with no words being shared to the room. Peleus, you, with your senses as an arcanist, know you have a more intuitive sense. So there's definitely some form of communication happening between Nanto and Ika. But it's not something that you're privy to as they have this discussion.
So guys, they're having girls talk. I think this is a five-a-side that they're going to have for a second. I'm not entirely sure. I just think that Ika is trying to figure out what happened to Nanto.
Well, you should probably get in there.
How do you enter a woman's conversation? Like,
well, you say nothing. Just listen.
I'm trying.
While this is happening, you do note concerned looks from the spiritualist here, who doesn't seem to have encountered such a situation before and seems torn between watching in awe and averting their gaze to ensure that they aren't being disrespectful.
Peeking through their fingers.
They're not entirely sure whether they should be witnessing this or whether they should have their head bowed, as this might be a private conversation between spirits, right?
Perhaps they weren't under the impression that Ika had the appearance of a naked glass lady.
They probably were familiar, based on all the imagery around the temple. They were probably aware of that. You should have
seen some of the bongs we could buy.
Oh!
Yeah, certainly. But
that makes more sense now.
After this moments of communication, Nanto's flames will recede into Peleus. Silex, you'll see the glass figure of Ika step forwards from the molten periphery and walk towards you. They will create a sword or a blade of some description, more of a symbolic suggestion of a sword than an actual sword. And they will grasp it by the blade in front of you, and you can see their fingers pressing into the blade with small rivulets of, if it were as a human, it would be blood, though on this spirit, it's so very clearly molten liquids as before, dripping from their hand as they watch you, and then gently gesture from the hand to you as a demonstration of this is what you are.
I'm trying to understand. They're not offering it for me to grab. They're just saying, I am the sword.
Specifically, that gesturing at their hand and the way that they are holding the sword, gripped tight around the sharp blade.
Okay. I look down at my hands, and I slowly turn them over, shaking a little bit. And I press them to the floor, and I draw my shields from the ground, and I cast elemental weapon with fire aspect.
You can feel that you are permitted to use that ability. That if this spirit really wanted to, they could have denied you the ability to do that. And you draw the flames to your arms, and instead of, as before, where you were calling upon so much fear that you became that fiery, burning creature, you instead attempt to draw upon it as a tool. As you do that, Ika will take the blades, the sword's handle in their hand, and release their hand from the blade. And in this case, make the gesture from the hand now gripping the grip towards you.
I push down in the air, trying to ignite the stone of my shield. And my intention is to push magma through it and have fire start to crackle at the surface.
You find yourself succeeding, and in a way that is, at least in this place, far more disconnected than the raw emotions that you had previously. And you can tell that Ika is, to some extent, guiding you here, insulating you from the sensations of the trauma you experienced using this fire previously.
I'm still shaking a little bit, but I'm holding it.
Exactly. Instead of delving into the place of pure trauma from before, it is you grasping the hilt and using it as a weapon.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I bow my head in silence.
The glass recedes to the pools. As you are presumably done with now, you hear the spiritualist speak to the other person there, and just under their breath you hear a, "What the fuck was that?"
This is how you communicate, you know?
That was to the guard with them. Clearly not intended for the group at all.
Yeah. Now that we've done an official communication, we now know that we've got Eco's blessings, and we will bow as we exit. Just sort of like a reminder to Eco that there is a madman that might be trying to force some sort of
course,
pact. All right. Can we get to somewhere where there's water?
I would say, Silex, you would have an intuitive understanding that this isn't the end of dealing with this issue for you. It is
absolutely not.
a point of understanding where to go from here. But you are left with the impression, the way that Ika touched your magic, that if you were to allow it, Nanto could probably do the same for you.
Inside myself, when I draw on magic, it feels like there's a song, a tune that I hear and start to like hum to myself. Like I'm not actually humming, but
right
in my soul, it
That's
starts
how
to
you conceptualize
resonate.
it.
And now I hear a second tune.
Exactly.
I can't pull the string, but I know that it's there in a way that I didn't before. Step 1.
Step 1, you know it's there. Step 2, what you need to do next to make it work for you, it's up to you. But it does probably involve communicating with or trying to understand Nanto to some extent.
Thank you for coming with me, guys.
You're welcome.
I'm impressed. I really thought you were all mostly just a musclehead, but you really have some. I don't know, how do you put that? A spiritual side? It makes sense, I guess, but I didn't see that before.
Thank you.
Dessert, as the French would say.
I chuckled to myself a little bit. It's easy to lose complexity when you see effectiveness.
So everyone from Kumuhonua is like that. They all have a connection like that.
Yeah. Some stronger than others, but this is how our people work. That's how everyone here is. I gesture around. They all feel their song. They're all taught from a young age to sing it, to work their magic. And until now, I thought that it was exclusive to our peoples, and maybe it isn't.
It's actually the first time that I'm meeting people like this. Maybe I should learn something from the spirits. Probably is a spirit that can make me go invisible, right?
Maybe out there somewhere we'll find someone.
I don't feel comfortable turning you invisible.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Why not just learn how to camouflage really, really good?
I don't know. I trust Flink.
See? I wouldn't do anything bad.
Not even if I asked you to.
I mean, my free time, sure.
And the trust is slowly going away.
Nice, good, fantastic. Love it.
If there's anything else that we need to do here, you can do it now. Otherwise, I'm good to go. I stand up to make my way out of the temple.
Okay. Assuming there's nothing people actively want to resolve, the party will head onwards through Row Mountain, Row Village, and Telgard City. Luckily, you've done this journey before, so it's not like this is like you've done this a couple times now, actually, right?
Yeah, this is just hiking.
Yeah, at this point, it's just hiking for you. Actually, as you head out of Kumuahi, on the way out, you specifically Flink, you're going to be approached by someone.
Oh no.
I did some travel dice rolls, and apparently we got some interesting ones. Flink, you're going to be approached by a merchant who, clearly having espied you, will walk up to you and say, good sir, I have something for you especial. I have no doubt that you will love it. You see, sir, I have come into my possession some secret, powerful magics, which I have no doubt would align to your nature. He gestures towards the throwing kunai on Flink's hips.
Oh, do tell me, do show me. I am interested.
These are secret, dark magics, which no doubt can be used to destroy your enemies. And he brings forth a book with all plum and showmanship, kind of spuriously hiding it from the rest of the group as he opens the front cover. And on it, you read the Ofuda of Life and Death.
Ooh, the Ofuda of Life and Death. Oh, show me. Those runes, are they glittering? Oh, what is this magic?
without turning through the rest of the pages, the person says, "For but a few hundred zenit, I can provide you with a document that espouses the most powerful of Fuda. Certainly you could use these. I have seen them used by throwing experts. I have seen them used to embed powerful of Fuda in their enemies and rip their souls right out of them. And the secrets of such could be yours, and they rely in this book. But just a few hundred zenit."
Oh, this is exactly what I need. You say a few hundred. How many is a few? I got only 220 zenit on me. Is that enough? Do we need more?
Perhaps you could inquire to your friends as to acquiring 100 more zenit?
Oh, yes, that's a good idea. Peleas?
Yes? Somebody calling me?
Could you... I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to give you that money back, so could you just give me, 150 zenit?
Okay. I'll just hand that over.
I lean over to Gawain. Is this guy full of shit?
I keep this guy? I have no idea, man. But, whatever. It's the journey, right?
Alright, I'm gonna say I've got 210 now.
It's 150 gold from a rich kid.
Okay, so...
I've got rid of 150 from myself.
I added the 150.
Yes.
Okay. And you said you had 200, so he will probably accept 350 total for this book of a Fuda of Life and Death.
Well, shit, I thought it's 320. You say 350? Oh, God. I thought I could swindle... 350. How about 330?
You can see the look of Gawain. You would know this is feigned hesitance, because you've got a sharp enough eye, but obviously Flink, in the moment, would not understand when he goes, well, you see, the food of life and death, they're so powerful. I don't know if I could let them away for such a small price. Surely the power to hold life and death in your hands is...
Look, you know how much he's got, and he's got to eat dinner tonight, so it's 3:30 or nothing, okay? Just be happy with your win here.
You see a very slight look of frustration, and then say, "Well, it has, as you say, I could not steal dinner from a man such as yourself. So if you would just..." He holds out his hand for the money.
Hang on a moment. Hang on a moment. Are you calling us poor? I'll have to find that extra bit of money.
No,
Sorry,
I'm calling Flink poor.
I will not have this.
I'm calling Flink poor.
I put a hand over Peleus's mouth. They are not contributing to this exchange at all.
I will not be insinuated that I've done a poor.
You've done a poor? Okay, then does Peleus add the extra, 30 zenit to the pool?
If I'm not being apprehended?
No, you're being apprehended. You're being quiet.
I am being apprehended. I can't do it.
Okay. You can see on the merchant's face, there is this brief moment of should I try and get that extra? Should I really? But then they look at Gawain.
My good sir, we are his bodyguards. And part of his person is his financial well-being, and so...
Yes. There is a meeting of the eyes with Gawain before he just takes the money that's already been proffered at, I think it was 320. And
whatever it was.
Yeah, hands over the book of the Afuda of Life and Death to Flink.
Hell yeah!
I'm just here to de-escalate the situation. Resolve and de-escalate. Okay!
I'm gonna be so strong in no time.
Yes, absolutely. There's no way that you aren't going to be strong. You're going to have to examine it and go through that document and find out all the little bits and pieces. And
read it every night.
I'm going to be shocked when this actually works.
I can't detect magic. I don't know how powerful this thing is, but look at it.
Okay, well,
I don't know how I'm going to look my cousin in the face after he finds out that I've haggled.
Just throw it at one of those trees. You know? You know how to throw those, right?
Well, I can try.
You bought something you don't know how to use?
It's going to work out. He said it's super powerful and it's made specifically for me. How could I not trust him? Did you see that guy?
Well, I just assumed that you were like, yeah, I've used charms before, because I guess maybe I profiled you a little bit. My bad.
Yeah, I was a little shocked that you didn't steal it. That would have hurt my pride less.
I can't steal from an honorable man like that. Not when he's looking.
You could haggle. You have any... Oh dear, how dirty that made me feel.
No, I'm sorry, Celeste. I didn't know this would hurt your feelings. Next time I'm going to trip him, steal the book, and run away.
Thank you. That's all I ask.
I'm dumbfounded in that moment. Like, that was a normal exchange that people have.
It's not a normal exchange.
This party's
people to have.
unhinged.
Please, it's all that I ask, that you rob this man blind in front of us.
The alternative is that he haggles. And if I'm caught haggling, he had my money. I lent him money. He didn't haggle with his own money. He haggled with my money. That hurts.
No, understandable. Totally understandable.
But think of it this way: once you give your money to him, it's not your money anymore. So he wasn't actually haggling with your money.
That's not how it works.
It is. Don't worry about it.
It's always my money, even when it's not in my possession or other people have it.
What?
That's how it works for the nobility.
This gets Gawain thinking.
You temporarily believe it's your money.
I turned to Gawain. Is that how it works? Is that what it's like in Telgard?
That's not what it likes, but that's not what it's like, but at the same time, I think it kind of is. I think I was just radicalized by Peleus.
A soft introduction of landlordism.
I didn't really grow up in the city.
No, but I bet you paid rent to somebody.
No, that's our house.
But you pay tax to somebody.
Yes.
I see. Harmony.
But
Flink is busy trying to figure out how these things work.
So, Flink, as you flick through the book, your initial glance through the book suggests that the methodology by using these things is that you have to carefully write out the structure of the Afuda in ink and on paper. Then you string it to one throwing spike of some description, and you throw the spike so it embeds it in the target, at which point, due to you chanting the specific inactivation words, it will deliver a torrent of powerful magic into the target.
Right.
There are many, many different listings in this book. There's like 50 or 60 of them written down in here.
This will be great. I'll have to think of something.
You could start trying them out. You've got the tools to attempt it, right? Like you've got paper and ink.
I thought we were on the way, and I didn't want to delay our travel. But
true.
Like if we were on the cart, I would read and study it, and then prepare stuff.
Well, you're going to be resting in the evenings, right? And it's going to be a couple days travel.
Well, I'll do it. I'll prepare some.
Okay.
Some of these read super destruction of darkness. I like to try those.
Okay. So you start with like the ultimate super destruction of darkness of Fuda, and it doesn't work.
Well, clearly I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah. So you try like another one, like the soul rent annihilator talisman, and it doesn't.
Well, naturally I'm going to skip to the very last page, because that's, of course, where the most powerful is. The World Ender is written there.
The World Ender.
Advised not to use, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Literal will destroy entire continents, will carve holes in reality. You mark it down, you attempt it, you do exactly as the instructions say, and it doesn't work.
Well, I'm dumbfounded. Maybe I need to converse with a spirit now.
I assume you sequentially go through every single Ofuda in this book eventually.
Yeah, I need to make sure.
Excellent. So as you are doing this night after night on your journey back through Row Mountain towards Row Village, you are perhaps a single day away from Row Village, where you find the only Ofuda so far out of all of them that has done anything.
Oh?
You note the difference is that when you finish marking this Ofuda, you feel a very slight spark, a little bit of the energy of yourself, like almost like electricity or the sensation just before a lightning strike. It is a slightly strange sensation. But you've been around magic, so you know that this is something similar to the things that Gawain has done. Like, it's got that same, like when Gawain loads his pistol with the magic cartridges that he used to discharge, the little incantation that he uses has that same feeling. And this Ofuda, it declares itself the death Ofuda.
Oh.
It is simple, straightforward, and it's the least complicated in the book, in fact. It simply says, destroys that which is dead.
Oh.
The Ofuda itself is marked with skulls. That is the prominent imagery used within it.
Dang. What an interesting weapon to receive.
It's handy to be able to kill dead things.
And I've added that to your inventory now.
Oh, inventory stuff. Oh my god.
That's a philosophical question. Is Dr. Quiet alive?
I'm gonna go yes. Without knowing more, I'm just gonna continue to stick with my initial gut of yes.
Because at what point, when you start separating bits of yourself, are you like not a person anymore?
Ship of Theseus, but with life. That's a
Probably.
very difficult question to answer.
It's probably very specifically the brain.
Yeah, I kind of am with side on this one. I think it's pretty specifically the brain with maybe some some additional things.
I would actually say there is a fairly well regarded answer amongst most spiritualists in at least this relative locale, and that is the notion of life or death is the soul. That which has a soul is alive, and that which does not have a soul is dead or undead.
So
that's helpful.
So necromancers are not summoning the souls of the dead.
They are not summoning the souls of the dead, though that doesn't mean what they're doing is by any means kind to the dead.
if a vampire has a soul, it's not dead.
If a vampire has a soul, it is not dead, although, you've got no information. You've never met a vampire.
Do vampires exist?
Do vampires exist? I don't know. You haven't seen one.
Don't. Please, no one try to answer that now.
Okay, so after this adventure, Flink is convinced that it's his skill that doesn't make all the other spells, all the other Fudas work. So he will work diligently to make them work, focusing on maybe something that is similar to the Death of Fuda. You all know how that will go.
It will be a long progress. There will be you'll have to study this for years to become a master of these Ofuda, right? Before you unlock your next level of potential.
I'll be the master of 100 Ofuda.
In his downtime, Flink will be in his book, practicing his writing.
Literally new chapter for him.
And if he doesn't fully manage to do it, for any reason, if this book is anything less than 100% certifiable, then I will take the assassin skill to that man. It made me haggle.
Also, for the benefit of anyone who doesn't know what Nofuda is, it is a paper talisman, often ascribed with magical effects, especially in like anime and stuff. Very often you'll see them slap a paper talisman on someone to, for example, seal the soul in a body so they don't die just yet.
Yeah.
Or to keep wandering spirits out of dead bodies is another example.
They're usually called talismans.
Yes, Afuda is like the Japanese name. Talisman is, yeah. But yes, you did find one of the Afuda that works, and I assume you test that on like a tree or an animal or something.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Excellent.
Not on Peleus just yet.
Not on Peleus just yet. On striking a tree, the Afuda sears with magical light, which you have no doubt would be an effective tool at harming whatever was struck.
It's a blind spot for us.
Certainly.
Thanks.
Flink is so happy about this. He's going to show off his note to look at me, look at this. Look, this is so cool. And you said it was a scam.
Who said it was a scam? I said nothing.
I really want to see what happens when you hit Dr. Kwai with it.
Oh.
I mean, if nothing happens, then it's still a kunai to the face.
Certainly.
Or the representation of a face.
Look, if you want me to break it down for you, Peleus, demystify it, make it less fun. Like when I watch him throw it, just it does damage in a way that I can't. It's kind of like the poison. It's the same way. Like it's not an element. I don't know how to do that, but I know other people can.
Okay. Until I find an undead spirit and learn how to control the undead.
Here. Let me put you on another lead here. You remember that spiritist guy, the monk dude with he had the really weird shape, the tonsure, and you used to make fun of him, but like you didn't understand that it was for religious purposes. He can do that.
Right.
Peleus desperately wondering, what's a tonsure?
Yeah, I don't remember this dude.
The guy who was only bald on the top of his head.
Oh. What's his name? Futse?
Sure.
Okay, so you traverse onwards. You make your way to Row Village, otherwise unimpeded. Gawain, I assume you happily spend the night in Row Village and spend some time with your mother.
Yes.
No, he doesn't. I do.
Flink,
Sorry.
Flink thoroughly enjoys spending time with Gawain's mother.
We all enjoy spending time with
Gawain's
Gawain's mother.
Just keep your collection of my mom's underwear to yourself, and we'll be okay.
Fair,
well, if
fair.
she keeps it to herself,
But she can't. He is stealing them. That's the problem.
Oh my god. There's no... See, what's really funny about this is I'm like 90% certain that like Flink's interest is purely in the fact that Gawain's mother is caring and kind to him, something that he strongly desires.
Yes.
Because Gawain's mother
Yes.
sees Flink as the what was the word I used before?
Yeah, he's a troubled child.
Yeah, troubled. Yeah, the troubled child. He's one of the troubled youth. So Gawain's mother is like, oh, I'm gonna care on this person, fuss on them as they are a troubled youth.
I mean, and to be fair, she's also just like, when I came home with my friends for Easter one year, and my mom's just like, I'm just gonna love all of you.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Like, okay.
Hello, friends of my child. You get cookies.
But Gawain's mum is hot.
But yeah, but like people.
But Gawain's just like, here,
people
stop trying to sleep with my mom.
Yeah, people who didn't grow up with that are like, oh wow, this is nice. I'm like, she's not that nice. She's just being polite.
Yeah. But you got a hot mom. So
To you two, Peleus and Rich. Oh, damn. She's single now too. I can be your dad. Wow, the benefits abound. Actually,
I would like to see it. I would like to see it.
You disgust me.
My mother would slap the skeleton out of you.
Not even wrong.
I want her to.
So the party will travel onwards to
I like
Telgard
strong women, you know that.
after Row Village.
Yeah, but you do it mentally.
I'm trying to DM here. You guys need to shut the fuck up. I'm trying to get us forwards. You absolute shits.
Look, it's not my fault that they keep talking about my mom like this.
I'm the one trying to stop this, and you're like, yeah, let's keep going on talking about people's moms. Let's try and like get this going. Let's just have this whole situation where we start playing that song. Let's bang each other's mothers 24/7.
You're right, because the mistake I made was playing chicken with Sama. It wasn't playing chicken. It was I had the wrong target. There was a matchup problem, and I was wrong. Issue. You're right. That was my judgment. You're right.
Yeah.
So you guys traverse on to Telgard City, at which point I think would be a suitable time to take a break.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a few minutes. Please, while we're away, enjoy some trivia. It's up to you if you enjoy that or not. I don't really care. Also, I get to use a button to do this. I'm going to see if the button works. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with some more Fabula Ultima. The party have just arrived at Telgard City after visiting Oro Village and visiting Gawain's mother. We are at the gates of the city that seems untroubled by whatever is happening in the rest of the world as life goes on in Telgard City. You pass by the gates quite readily, now being more familiar with the protocols for entering and leaving cities, given your experience traveling these days. I'm amazed at how much you guys have been traveling, actually. You've really been just navigating around the entire continent. There's probably very few people as well traveled as you guys that don't have an airship on standby.
And it's incredible. We still haven't even visited half of the continent.
I know,
yeah,
right?
we've mostly gone in a straight line. It's up and down.
Such as it is, you are at Telgard City, and no doubt that Peleus would check in with his mother, Lady Lynette, just as a general catch-up.
Yes.
You have, after all, pacted 2 more spirits in your time away, and had a conversation with a third, albeit a strange one. You are tallying your experiences through life.
Yes.
Lady Lynette seems very much pleased to see you, and as before, opens her home to the party should they wish it.
Hello, Mumsy.
Free lodging is free lodging.
Exactly. Especially since it's quite nice lodging as well.
That's true.
You remember my man?
Why do you have to say it like that? You have so many options.
I'm just gonna groan. I'm just gonna groan when he says it and wave.
You remember my boys?
That's better, I guess. I guess.
Sounds worse to me.
So you will take you'll take this time and do what needs to be done. However, in short order, I imagine you visit the not quite military, the pseudo-military arm of that Minerva Tass was assigned to. As you are directed to the airship in dry dock as it's undergoing repairs.
See, we didn't get back late.
As you get there, you are rapidly met by Minerva Tass, who is being wheeled along now in a much more dignified fashion in a more advanced actual wheelchair rather than the simple wheelbarrow that she was navigating in before.
Alrighty.
She is wheeled in front of you and she says, Gawain, I need you to immediately go investigate something for me.
Hello to you too, Minerva. How are you doing? I'm doing great. So what do you got for me?
We've received messages that a village, Humboldt, was attacked and possibly burnt to the ground. We need you to immediately sally forth, find out as much information as you can, and we'll meet you there as soon as the airship is repaired.
Now, where is this village?
It is in the west, and she will mark it on the map. or she will mark it in a way that is useful to you, variously using her charts or whatever.
I don't think you've ever heard of Humboldt, but
mark it over here.
I'm about to go learn.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the lead. I'm going to check in with a few people before I leave town. Preparation and all that.
Certainly. I understand. I'm sorry for pushing this on you immediately, Gawain, but it was apparently quite recent, and I don't want to risk losing the lead.
Definitely.
Don't worry, milady. We're on it.
Flink is going to look shocked at Pelea's politeness.
Minerva Tass will almost immediately begin shouting at someone else on the ship to try and hurry them up and get things organized.
That's hot.
Lieutenant Masters now seems quite deft.
The actual thoughts of Gawain.
I was saying
something about your mom.
I noticed you didn't say anything to my mother.
Why would I?
I
don't actually want to sleep with your mom, Peleus. I just want you to shut the fuck up about mine.
Well, I do actually want to sleep with yours.
Yes, that's fine. Keep it to yourself. Anyway.
All right, who are we talking to?
Oh my god, my brain.
You wanted to talk to Silas, I believe.
Yes, that is exactly what I wanted.
That's what I'm guessing.
Thank you. Yeah, you
I apologize, I broke you.
Okay. Yeah, we need to check in because I have one guy who maybe I had looking for intel on Kauai, and then
you also had him you also requested that he make you something useful for tracking.
Yeah, like a tracking beacon or something. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of gave him like vague, like I want something to be able to track him as best as possible. Do your best type energy.
Yep. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna go meet with him. Whoever wants to come can, but it's a low key thing.
All right. In that case, I will leave.
I'll come along.
You're just going to leave the party, or you mean like?
If it's low key, it's not me.
Oh, okay, understandable. Okay, you Peleus goes to explore the city.
Yeah.
Gawain, as you start heading off, a somewhat harried soldier, clearly of the house outfit that Minerva Tass has been employed in, will kind of chase after you down the dock and hand you a contract and 800 zenit.
Cool.
It basically codifies everything that you were talking about before about being auxiliaries.
Cool. I was going to say this to my lawyer. I don't have a lawyer.
I'll take care of this. Don't worry about it.
No. The correct answer is we split up the money. That's easy.
Damn it.
But take your 200 and be happy. We should have Lady Lynette look at it. Be like, yo, can you just look at this for me before I sign it?
You could send Peleus to go do it.
I'll bring this back. Yeah. I'm going to give it to Peleus, and I'm going to say, Peleus, take this to your mom, ask her to check it over, make sure I'm not getting ripped off. Okay?
Okay.
Here's your 200. Here's your cut.
Okay.
You could have given me that money.
Yeah, here's your cut. Silex, here's your cut. This is my cut. Okay, we're all done with that. More importantly, okay, we will bring that back to you before we leave. Thank you, sir. Here's a tip, probably. And yeah, off to Silas.
Yeah, I was going to say, pretty much as soon as you got it and you've confirmed you've received it and what it is, they're off. They're busy. It seems that Minerva is running them hard to get this ship operational.
Yeah, well,
makes sense. We are on the clock.
Think maybe she's projecting herself onto the ship?
Perhaps.
I'm just gonna. I've decided.
Good. But okay, so you will head off to Silas while Peleus heads off to Lady Lynette. We'll handle the thing with Lady Lynette earlier because it's fairly straightforward. Peleus, you take the document to Lady Lynette.
Yes.
She examines it with her superior understanding and notes that the contract is fairly permissive. It's mostly just here is a pay period, here is the inspected employment, and this is the termination clause. And the termination clause being If you choose not to do what they tell you to do, then the contract is considered terminated. Like, they'll pay you as long as you do what they tell you to, and when you stop, they'll stop paying you. That's the contract.
Yeah, that sounds like a standard job.
It's actually like, normally these contracts are fairly restrictive, but it seems that Minerva Tass has deliberately made this quite permissive.
Yeah.
Look at that. She cares.
There's no, like, if you do this under these circumstances, you have to pay back money. It's very much like, the moment you choose not to be in this contract anymore is the moment the contract ends.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any need to have it checked out, if I'm honest. I felt like if I'd felt like there was a need to check it out, I'd have taken it to my uncle, who's in charge of parts of the Navy and the Army.
Exactly.
Or the Navy and the Army.
The dancing general who's in charge of parts of the Army's Navy, but not the Navy.
Yes.
The point is... The point...
Anyway, the contract seems fine.
I'm doing. And I only trust Minerva. I don't trust anyone else.
No, absolutely. It's completely reasonable to get the contract looked at. It's been looked at. It seems quite permissive. You head towards Silas. Silas is in the Engineers Guild, as you would expect to find him, working on something. As you walk into his like cubicle, it's like, thung. Hey, Gawain, how are you doing? Thung. I hope you're doing well. Thung. By the way, I worked on that thing you were telling me to. Thung. I got some progress and I made some prototype. Thung. Anyway, look, I've got some ideas for possible upgrades for it. Thung.
Upgrades? You have one already?
Well, right now it's just I'm taking part of this thung property of certain metal types, which if you combine them with thung, a gallium.
Is he okay in there?
I mean, he's hammering something, right? He says, I was working on this combination of gallium ideolite, thung, as he hammers into something. I'm assuming you've been let into his cubicle, by the way, like his workshop area,
I'm like
right?
watching.
And you're watching him work.
I'll do the thing where I wander around.
He doesn't seem to want to stop working.
I touch stuff I'm not supposed to touch because he's not looking, etc.
Yeah, exactly. Something crumples, and he looks around and he says, "Oh, it's never done that before." Thung. Anyway, look, here's the thing, and he hands you what looks like a crossbow with a small vial attached where you would normally put a bolt.
A vial?
Yeah, it looks like a liquid vial.
What is in this?
Well, okay, so look, this is gallium ideolite. It should break down metals, but not so fast as to be noticeable. Here, let me show you. He will take from a larger vial on his desk and drop it a little bit on an example piece of metal and then wipe it off so it looks clean and normal. And then he'll show you and be like, look, this looks normal, right? And then he will wipe it on Flink's shoulder.
Ugh.
And then say, now look. As you examine Flink's shoulder, there is a very slight, very subtle, silvery powder.
Okay.
So what I was thinking, right?
All right.
Is you want to track this guy, right? And if he is covered in metal and you use this on him, he won't notice that it's affecting the metal. But it'll give you a way to track him that he won't immediately detect. And it's subtle enough that he's not going to shed everywhere.
Okay.
That sounds cool.
I like it.
Obviously, you still need to hit him with it, but he shrugs.
No. I'm like handing it. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, I guess I'll hold it. That's fine. I thought about giving it to Flake, but I'll hold it.
I thought about it too, but I think you're the better one here.
So, Gawain?
If it was different.
I'm going to add that to your inventory. It's a consumable item in the same way that elixirs and magical tents are.
Okay, cool.
Oh.
It does not have a mechanical function. It has a narrative function. But in order to track someone, you would have to use the inventory point cost and discharge it on a target. It does not have a hit roll. It is presumed that you can get some on a target.
Can I just use, like, you said it was in a little crossbow, like a hand crossbow?
Yes.
Could we just roll the pistol for it? Be like, don't roll the the damage is nothing.
Oh, no, I'm saying there is no hit roll. I'm assuming you are competent enough.
Okay.
Like, because you're not hitting to do damage, you just need to hit somewhere on the target.
Gotcha.
So
Okay,
unless your target is like fist size, high speed fairy type thing,
sick.
You can probably, like, it's not worth the question of rolling it.
All right, awesome. Yeah, this goes in Gawain's bag of tricks.
Exactly. And it will allow you to theoretically have a great deal of help tracking any metal objects that you tackle with it. So that includes, for example, certain types of airship, if they've got predominantly metal hull, any like constructs or similar things of that nature, or potentially you could use it on like a metal box that you want to track. And it does only improve your chances of tracking it, but it's going to give you options, essentially.
It's pretty cool, especially considering how little time he had.
Yeah. Good job, Silas.
Yeah, with an idea like this.
Not to be greedy, but the other thing, did you hear anything about this guy?
Silas is gonna look very slightly crestfallen and shake his head. I've not heard anything. There's like barely any information on that kind of stuff. The only thing I've heard is that there was a village burnt down recently, but that's it.
Yeah, we're about to go check that out, actually.
Hopefully we'll get to test your invention here, see if it works. Put it to the test.
He does follow up with saying that if I can't find since I haven't been able to find anything about this, I'm not sure that he's using local sources for these materials.
Yeah, I mean, he might not be from here, but I mean, ruling that out's good, right?
Silas will nod.
Thanks for the help, man. I really appreciate it. If you need anything, let me know. And I'm gonna do something really cool guy thing. I'm gonna like put like a burger or something like from like the place in town that I know he likes, like on the other workbench. Be like,
Good. You offer him dinner. As you say, if you need anything.
Like I already bought it. Like it's here. Like I know. Like
You like. Silas himself takes it almost without thinking and starts eating it. Like
love it.
The casual.
He's the third friend. That was the important part of the
exactly. Like, the casual understanding of the interaction. He's very comfortable with this. He doesn't give like a outright thanks. And while mouth half full, he does say, "It's just say if I need anything, if you could get me a supply of Edeolite." I think he swallows the food. Yeah, the material in the gallium Edeolite. The Edeolite is really difficult to get, so I wasn't able to use much. I think I might be able to make a weapon if I can get enough of it.
Where do you get it? Like, do you know?
Well, the only source I've heard of is from an arc siphon.
Arc siphon? Do I know what an arc siphon is?
Yes, it's the giant power reactor powering the city.
Oh, like they use is like. I mean, I can't steal some. Where do they get theirs?
Yeah, this is where he gets his, and it's probably not in common supply.
Basically, we would have to find a direct, like, mine to a ley line.
Well,
yeah, he's asking for something.
This could come up. I can see this coming up.
We're getting around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thanks. I'll put it on the wish list. If it comes up, it comes up. Thanks.
He nods and enjoys some casual conversation if you have the time while he eats his burger.
Yeah, I'll introduce him to my to the new friends. No Peleus attached.
No Peleus attached.
Actually, not to rush, but I think we should be going.
Like, you want to leave now?
I take it as a
I agree.
bad sign that Silas has heard of that rumor already.
Okay, you're right. They're right.
Assuming that the military
Peace.
just didn't just spread that information around. And Silas is not directly connected to military.
Yep, you're right. I was kind of like, it's going to be burned down when we get there either way.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be burned down. We are late, but the track is
You're right. We should go now.
vanishing.
It could
All right.
it could matter, actually.
Let's
It
go.
was glib of me to write off the 12 hours.
Okay, so you are going to, I presume, collect Peleus, who confirms that the contract is relatively permissive as far as contracts go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to sign it, I guess? You're technically in charge.
But yeah,
I guess I said me and Flink were doing. Okay, I'll sign it.
yeah.
Okay, so you sign the contract.
It's better this way to split up our company into technically two companies.
Exactly. That means that you have limited liability.
Yeah, one handles military bullshit, other one handles spirit bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. With that in mind, I assume you hand the contract back and head out to Humboldt.
I can't wait to start a repo company that's owned and operated by Flink.
Humboldt is in the western expanse from Telgard City, well known for its overall high percentage of arable land. It is quite verdant compared to a lot of the terrain you've been coming across, and is kind of like the main producer of agricultural goods. The area, not Humboldt specifically. Humboldt just happens to be one of the locations within there.
So they're feeding Telgard.
Yeah, kind of the distributed aspect of feeding Telgard, trading with Row Village from time to time. The area itself is a lot of the times well fed from here. Grandfoot, for example, would probably have agricultural goods from this area, especially like grain staples and such. So you head out. You were given a fairly acceptable map, or fairly acceptable instructions, I should say. And Gawain, you have some knowledge of the area. It's not as intuitive as you would have around like Row Village, but enough that you can follow the right roads.
I get us out of town, and then I'm like, this is new to me.
Specifically, Gawain, you would know that on your path is a specific location.
Oh.
Rakal. A tree, a huge, absolutely like gargantuan tree, literally the size of a mountain, that is espoused to be the possible or likely reason for this particular area's verdancy by comparison to other places elsewhere. This tree, Rakal, does have a population center of sorts within its root system and boughs, but it's also known to you that it's considered somewhat rude to visit without having a good reason to visit, if that makes sense.
Mm.
It's because of the belief that it is so important to the local ecology. They don't really like outsiders coming in just to say hi and look at it. It's kind of like a nuclear power station, right? Like it's important, but you don't just let anyone come by, even though it's not necessarily like militarily guarded.
Well, then we'll have to just watch from a distance, I suppose, unless something happens or changes.
Do we know of a
Yes.
spirit residing there?
Almost assuredly.
Almost certainly, but that doesn't mean that you have a good reason to go there.
Right, like...
Yeah, only if it's, like, on the list.
Yeah.
I used to look at the Rukau tree from the Telgard telescope.
But seeing it come over the horizon, just what looks like on the horizon just a normal sized tree is absolutely wild. And getting closer, I'm remembering my conversation in Kumuahi and am making an extra mental note to try and visit the tree for magically imbibed wood.
Certainly. If anyone was going to have enchanted wood, Raquel would.
Definitely. But would its fruit be regular size? Or would it be giant size?
It may not have fruit.
A good question. Raquel's fruit could be absolutely massive.
It's a good question. I think in an ideal world, you get like a cluster fruit that makes normal size fruits. E.g., like what if they were like pomegranates? But like, you know, because like the little piece of pomegranate on the inside was like apple sized.
You do find that as you traverse by Raquel, as the road goes near, even though you aren't taking the path directly to Raquel, the path goes near. It does mess with your kind of sense of perspective, because as you see this huge tree on the horizon, you think, oh, I'm making progress towards it. I'm going to get there in like an hour, right? And then like a day later, you're still like, it still looks like it's an hour away, right? It completely screws with your perception as you can't, your brain can't quantify it. This is not a thing that you're expecting as you navigate around Raquel, this huge verdant tree, and make your way to Humboldt. As you get closer to Humboldt, you do run into a number of people heading away from that direction. Apparently, the outlying individuals, I'm assuming you stopped to ask perhaps one or two of them, the outlying individuals who were dependent on Humboldt's existence, traveling away from Humboldt with no ability to support themselves here anymore. There's no like infrastructure, given that Humboldt itself has been, according to them, completely burnt to the ground.
That sounds like our guy.
We should pay him a visit.
I wish.
Hopefully he's still there.
I would say he can't be that stupid, but if there's a spirit there...
Yeah, exactly. That's... I both hope that there isn't one for its sake, and that there is one so that we might be able to catch him.
So, as you enter the lands around Humboldt, there is a smell of ash on the air. You arrive to a township not unlike Row Village. A perimeter wall sat upon a waterway, surrounded with defensive layers, now almost all burnt to a cinder. There are bodies laying on the ground, some rotting, some crushed, some picked at by carrion animals. The housing here is destroyed. Whatever was here was taken by violent, aggressive force. And there is a sensation in the air. Peleus, you're the first one to pick up on this, but everyone here has this sensation of emptiness and loss, as though the location is dead in a way that is far more uncomfortable than it should be. As though you are experiencing a personal, as though you're experiencing the death of someone close to you. Because I think most people in this group have seen a dead body before in the characters, I should say. And there is a difference between seeing, for example, the passing of a family member and the passing of a stranger.
Mm.
And you all get the sense of seeing the same feeling you get when you see the passing of a family member, but it is impressed upon you as you walk through Humboldt, this place filled with people you never knew. There is a deep emptiness here. And Peleus, you can feel deeply and intuitively that there was something torn away from this land. The energies of a spirit that were here are gone, not because the spirit left, but because it was literally torn out of this place. And there are the open spiritual scars on the land.
Yeah. Guys, I think Dr. Carway may have been done. The only thing we can do is just have a look at the shrine. Maybe he hasn't fully evacuated the city yet.
I mean, yeah, we have to go further in and see if we can find a trail, or him or a trail. Maybe one of the two.
So it's been at least a few days past since whatever happened here. Mm-hmm. You find the shrine with relative ease. It's a prominent building and construction here. Unlike Kumuhonua, where it was very much a hidden place, this is a more prominent location. You come to the shrine, and you see it is so clearly desecrated here. The natural spirit that would have resided here in much the same way Sheba would be, it feels pulled apart. It feels taken. Every one of you can see just how wrong this is. It's like seeing somebody's open skull. There is some element of just innate, pure, instinctual revulsion to what has been done here. And you can see a path of broken ground heading to the west. Tell me, who is the most, do you think, well-read about this area in general?
Has to be Gawain.
It's gonna be me.
Yeah, I think
It has
no
to be
idea.
Gawain.
Yeah.
Okay. Gawain, you've certainly researched your elemental magics, and probably, in fact, you would have done study of traditional history in Telgard, right? As part of your education.
Yeah, that sounds like some required shit that Peleus may have actually paid attention to.
You would know that this sense of violation, of desolation, of these sensations described are not unlike historical reports of the Mahawahi wastes.
Oh. Damn, so they're right on top of each other like that. That sucks. Interesting. Well, that's where we go if we don't find anything here.
As said, there was a path of destruction heading towards the west. Or a path of broken ground, I should say. Eminent or exemplified of what looks like a heavy quadrupedal or maybe heptapedal monster, you would think.
Yeah, well, that bears investigating, I suppose.
Yeah. I am overwhelmed, and at this point fall to my knees, trying to hold back tears, because all I see in the smoldering ruins of Humboldt is what Kumuhunua would have been if we hadn't been there to stop the Direxus. And I can't even imagine how many other places look like this or will look like this because of him and us not having killed him yet or otherwise apprehended him.
I wonder if he made some more fire people. Like he did with Silex.
I feel like he shouldn't be able to do that.
Well, you shouldn't be able to do that, but I'm wondering if he did.
I mean, fire people specifically, unless he has access to another fire spirit, it's quite unlikely.
All right. Well, the people of variety that
Well,
I feel like
okay.
Humboldt by name might be electric.
Let's start with. I have two. I'd like to posit two ideas to you guys.
All right.
See what you think. One, that the Mahawahi Waste may be like the original victim. Like, is a spirit that used to be there, like the power, like sort of like the base, if that makes sense, of like whatever Koei is doing.
Wasn't that like a really, really, really long time ago?
Whatever happened in the Mahawahi Wastes is largely beyond recorded history. It's true.
Hear me out. Like, if he's harnessing a spirit to cause this, maybe that spirit is what caused the waste, like before Koei.
You think that this has been done before and Koei has like regained knowledge of this method?
Yeah, or like this is just like maybe like this is just like maybe a spirit exists that does this. And it's unpacked, or like when unpacked, something happens, or unbound, or what, I don't know.
I do have the feeling.
Anyway, I'm just trying to relate it back, but the other thing would be that Humboldt itself probably doesn't. Whatever spirit was here probably bestows like. It has something to do with like how verdant the land was, right?
Certainly, there is a lot of verdancy in the area.
Like, so what's the other half of that? Like, why was this place the way that it was? Anyway, we should follow this trail.
Yes.
Things to think about while we walk.
Yeah.
That is very much the case for all spirits, though. If you take the spirit out of the land, then the land can't really function.
There is certainly a case of that, Peleus. So far, based on your experiences, it's very much a case of there being a highly synergistic role between the spirits, the people that reside there, regardless of whether it's in the packed lands, where the spirits are expected to be pacted, or whether they are maintained by the means of the Kamuans, who are distinctly different in their approach, but still in the same regard, care greatly about their spirits and their well-being, because they are such an integral part of making surviving in this world
feels
possible.
like a collective pact, to be honest, like whether words are spoken or not.
It's a communal thing instead of an individual thing.
Yeah, it's like, geographical almost.
Yeah.
Like, and you'd easily just date it back to like worship almost, of something like that.
Certainly, historians regard the distinction between like Packlanders and Kamelians as essentially being from a different hierarchy of authority. But yes, you guys were planning to follow the trail.
Yeah, it seems like the more local lead.
You travel west following these marks on the ground. They look almost like spikes embedded in the ground at each step, which is what makes them relatively easy to track due to their distinctiveness.
So whatever it is, it's big and heavy.
Yes. Your estimations based on your experience, like Gawain, Silex, you both have experience with monsters. Flink, you have experience with heavy objects.
Do you think it weighs more or less than a Direxus?
Less than a Direxus.
Okay, so it looks smaller than a Direxus.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
So we might be able to fight it.
If I was a crazy dude looking to collect spirits, this is exactly what I'd do to lure me into a trap.
What do you mean?
Well, I've got a bunch of spirits packed up to me.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay. So, like, I agree with you, but what are you going to do?
Well,
Hide
personally,
and let him go collect a bunch of spirits?
the best thing we can do is jump into the trap
Spring the trap.
and beat the shit out of it.
Pretty much.
I love the logic.
But I'm glad we've got something that can kill dead things now.
So, you travel west following these tracks, and as I said, they're not too difficult to follow, though you are still following tracks. So, as such, there's constant things where you think you've lost it for a bit. You have to suck with the area, find where the tracks are going, find the broken terrain. Whatever is traveling this path seems to be deliberately avoiding the standard paths of the area as well, instead choosing to traverse quite rough terrain at times rather than going through the more easy to navigate areas. You think that in a few more days, this path would probably, like these tracks, would probably be washed away to the point where, through rain or weather or whatnot, that they wouldn't really be trackable anymore.
Mm.
However, you make your way west, perhaps a day's journey, and you find yourself at the sea. You make your way this far, and then you can find no further tracks. This is where they end.
What is this nonsense? Where did you go?
Well, remember what Silas told us? That they're not getting resources from here. This basically confirms that they're getting stuff from elsewhere. They're on a different continent.
But how are we supposed to track them like this?
We're gonna need a ship.
Yes. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
What if we tried to beat him to the next spot?
Well, assuming that they keep coming back here for spirits, there either aren't spirits where they're coming from, or they've already have them all. The spirits that we know of
I
are
would point
Kumuahi.
out, pointing your contention. Either they have them all, or taking them from here is less of a blowback than taking them locally.
Yeah. Okay. Kumuahi, which is probably the hardest to attain on the continent. Rakau and Peleus, do you know of any other major spirits that they might target?
Anything south of here? West of Kumuahi and Kumuhanua? Like,
It's all on the list, isn't it?
Let's check the list.
Certainly.
I'm
are
trying to think, like, he's not attacking places that are near those locations, right? That Silex just mentioned. Like, Kumuhanua is really the closest he's gotten to, like, a place of power.
Yeah.
It's the boldest he's been.
So he's a coward.
Well,
Are
I
you
think
a
it's just-
coward for picking fights, the easy fights? Like, I don't know.
I think they just, they're building to that. So
he is
without
craven,
knowing
though.
how
I agree.
strong they are at this point. Because maybe this is all they needed to start an attack on a larger stronghold.
I believe there's a spirit in Raku, because I felt something while we were walking past there.
At Raquel, there is definitely something big.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get at, like, where do we think he's going to go next, though? Like, I don't think Raquel is a viable target for him.
Yeah, no.
If it was, we would have seen him. You know what I mean?
Probably.
I believe there's a village in the Gretsch Mountains.
Almost certainly.
A bird people village.
I would guess somewhere in the south. Like,
well,
if I
based on
had
where
to
he's
guess,
already
but-
been, if he's already been to Roe Mountain, he's already been to Kumuhanwa, he's already been to areas around Grandfort. We have to assume he's already been, since they're coming from the Western Sea, they've already been in the southern reaches around the mountains.
Maybe.
And if he's moved his way north to destroy Humboldt, maybe there's more northern settlements along the coast that have not been targeted, and that's where he would go next.
Okay.
Well, he did go from Kunohanawa straight to Roe Village.
Other way.
Oh.
Yeah, Roe Mountain to Kumuhanwa.
And I can't imagine that Roe Mountain is where he started. If they're coming from the Western Sea, they'd have to cross the entire basin.
Okay.
I would also say you have noticed there was a distinct difference between the operation in Roe Mountain, which seemed to be like an ongoing activity of doing stuff, compared to Kumuhanua and Humboldt here,
which are just straight up raids.
Yeah, there is a very distinct difference between what happened at Roe Mountain and in those two locations.
And we know that there are other smaller villages that have been attacked.
Yes.
Before we met at Roe Mountain.
Yeah.
Yes, because Hoke spoke about smelling the same corruption on you.
It just makes sense to me that he would pick off all the little places.
Sure.
Because Kumo hide.
So we have to figure out what's left if we want to stay us ahead of it.
Yeah.
So basically the two ideas are northwest coast, southwest coast, and likely Minerva has information to help us.
Possibly.
Very possible.
I feel like we should stop on Raku on our way back, just to make sure everything's okay. And let them know about what's just happened.
Minerva did say that she was going to fly out to Humboldt as soon as the airship was ready to go.
So we shouldn't go very far from here.
Yeah.
Traveling into the wastes is incredibly dangerous.
Okay.
And until we have better reason to go there, we shouldn't.
I mean, we could we spend the day hiking while we wait. Like, it's boring, but it's like he's traveling by airship.
Yeah.
So spotting him is possible, or spotting like figuring out where they're operating from.
What
is possible?
I want to point out something. You haven't heard any reports of an airship.
Could it be underwater?
Maybe I'm wrong.
I would also note that every single thing you've dealt with has involved land transport. So, when I say land transport, like traversing the land itself. Kumuhanua was not attacked from the air. Humboldt had someone leaving
I thought a lot of these
on the ground.
I guess we don't really know what happened with some of this, though, also.
Yeah.
Like, there is nothing apart from the fact that the locations are fairly disparate that indicates that it would be an airship. And airships are very, obvious ways to travel as well. They're not stealthy.
What about a mole ship?
That might be more obvious than an airship.
But then the tracks wouldn't lead to the coast.
There would be big holes where it would come in and out of the ground. I understand what you're saying, but if they're traveling to and from our continent and no one's seeing it, I would guess underwater, or it's completely magical and we can't understand what it could be.
Or he put on a human suit and got into one of those carts that went past us, pretending to be an escapee from the town.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, it could be. We don't know how human he can appear. We've only ever seen him as Glassman.
And this might have been one massive trap to get us to look the other way.
I don't know. He hasn't exactly been subtle I don't know if he's trying to trap us. I don't know if he cares about us that much.
Aw.
I think he cares in that, like, I think he cares, but he views his victory as mostly inevitable. And I think he cares more about collecting from Peleus than he does about, like, a grudge.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. He's kind of egomaniacal.
Mm.
So, how long were the ship repairs supposed to take? Like, relative to how long it took us to get here?
They're probably arriving within the next day or two.
Okay. So it was probably done at some point while we were traveling, and then they're just following us.
Pretty much.
So, our travel radius is low. We don't have anything else that we can do here. We can't help anyone or anything. I guess the only thing we could do maybe is like quell monsters that are going crazy because of the missing spirit. Try to protect travelers or visit Raku or both.
Can go back to Humboldt and bury what's left of the people.
So, if you just want to navigate around Humboldt, that wouldn't be too challenging in terms of exploration and navigation. So is that your plan? You're just going to travel back to Humboldt and hold security and investigate what you can?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you travel back to Humboldt. It doesn't take you too long, as now you're able to travel via paths which are more comfortable to you and less not whatever the hell presumably Dr. Koei was using.
His mobility assistance vehicle of some type.
You arrive back to Humboldt and you realize a strange, uncomfortable factor about being here. You've not been encountering monsters.
Yeah.
Not a one.
Not a one.
This isn't out of control spirits, man. This is spirit gonzo.
It's deeply uncomfortable. Like, Gawain, you're used to, even in the time you've been traveling back and forth, there's been monster fights which are, we haven't played out because it's just been like, oh yeah, it's just like one angry puppy type thing,
Yeah. There's always, as long as the spirits are around. And a lot of times what we have to deal with are monsters that are a result of out of control spirits. But this is a situation where the spirit is not here at all. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised. But it's pretty terrible.
So you spend your time trying to explore and navigate the area. You kind of go through and I imagine you start piecing together what happened here in terms of like forensics as best as you can, where the fight started, how it traversed through the city. You can you think that the wall was breached first by just sheer something physically bulky just smashed through the wall. And then some amount of skirmishing happened. There were a few deaths. You presume after that, the fires were started in the chaos of whatever was happening.
So I guess my question for myself is, because we haven't really seen like Koei with underlings. I just don't know. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what he's capable of, but...
See, I think Koei is the underling.
Well, that's definitely... that might be true. He's probably being used by someone, but...
He's going around everywhere. He's getting his ass kicked. To me, it seems more like somebody's going, have some money, get us some spirits. And that he might have taken the wrong idea from that and collected. I don't know. My brain just trailed off then.
I don't know if you can make sense out of a man. Well, I don't even know if you can call him a man at this point. Out of that thing.
Yeah. I specifically speaking, they refer to themselves as a doctor.
Honestly, if he's out in the wastes, it makes sense. Like Roe Mountain, Kumu Hanua, Humboldt, they're all like they all border the wastes in different directions.
Mm.
If he's out there hiding, no one goes out there. And the wastes have always been like Humboldt is now. Like, that makes a lot of sense.
I would also make a couple notes about the geography of the wastes. This is theorized to, like, this inlet area here is theorized to have happened at some point when whatever happened at Mahawahi also, and Mahawahi wastes happened. Like, this entire area is theorized to be the outcome. Potentially even as far as up here, although the Drakao is theorized to have been healing this area, hence the verdancy here.
Like, it just makes sense to me. Enough to be worth moving on, honestly. Like, if we have no leads.
With that, I was going to say Minerva Tass arrives in the airship. Well, you presume it's her because, there's an airship coming here. It looks like the one you've seen before. It's going significantly faster than it was when you guys were on board it, because now it actually has a fully working engine. They're not, like, concerned is going to fall apart.
Oh, and we don't have to walk.
Yeah. So they will put down this airship a little ways away from Humboldt proper. And a small party, including Minerva Tass, will arrive. Minerva Tass will be like, "Greetings, Gawain. This is horrible."
Yeah, pretty much. Its spirit's been, like, ripped right out. It's terrible. I think we found evidence of whatever was here, but it's gone now. I have this working theory that he's out there in the wastes.
Where did you track the thing to that you said was here?
There was a path that leads off to the west, but
it ends at the coast.
Yeah. She's
going to furrow her eyebrows and then say, "That does suggest something that we were considering. It may be that they have some kind of seagoing vessel."
Yeah, if they're not, I mean, I don't think he's from here. My sources say he's, don't point to that either. But for whatever reason, I feel like he must have a local
base of
presence.
Operations.
Yeah. Why do you think he's in the wastes?
Yeah, hard to explain why. It's like a feeling, like all of the stuff we know, kind of like it would be convenient if that were true.
She's going to talk with her lieutenant briefly, ask a few questions, and then turn back to you and say, "Gawain, would it interest you to know that there is, we saw a skimmer in the wastes? A skiff in the wastes?"
Yeah, I mean, like, no one goes out there, so yeah. That's at least jiving with some of what I'm thinking. Besides, we can't just fly around over the ocean and hope we see him, right?
Well, actually, Gawain, I was thinking that we could probably follow two leads here. If you said that there was a path towards the ocean, we could take the airship and traverse the ocean from a high point of view. There's very little to hide under out there. Perhaps you could visit the Mahawahi wastes and investigate the skiff?
All right.
Sounds good to me. That's the whole point of having two groups, right?
She'll nod and say, "I really wouldn't want to fly the airship over the Mahawahi wastes. The manner there is unreasonable."
While she's here, would you want to ask about the other villages that might have untaken spirits? If there's any other destroyed villages?
Yeah, I guess I can I'll take out my map and show her, like, my, like, 3 or 4 locations that I'm like, I feel like these, if I was trying to look for next targets, are, like, mine. Do you have, like, is there, like, an overlap between us?
She's going to look through it and then consider for a moment and then say, "Given our current location, there is a village north of Raquel that could be of interest. However, that would mean that we can't go scout the ocean to the west. She will consider for a moment.
I feel like as much as I want to protect people, we might just be wasting time, and going to the root of the problem and solving it is the answer, right? Kind of look at.
She's going to nod and say, Gawain, I think you're right here. As much as it pains me to say, we're one vessel. We don't have the capability to attempt to cover every possible village. And quite frankly, if
Can
Dr.
we
Kuwait
rally local militias? Like, can we just, send word? Like, we have connections to people, places. Not high ones, but people who would be working in places like that.
Have your description of Kauai distributed to major villages that are then dispersed to minor villages to try and give them a heads up. Give us direction when they come under attack and give them time to prepare.
Like, okay, let's pretend we do it, or not pretend. Let's not even do this officially. Like, you and I both know lots of people at low levels throughout, the local military, if you will. So, let's warn them.
I certainly want to. The issue is, however, the longer we spend heading out to warn people, the less likely we are to actually catch up with him.
Sorry. I guess,
I think, Gawain, what I will do is I will send a member of my staff. I will send them to Raquel. I will send them with a missive to communicate with as many people as they can and rally as many people as possible. They will have to go on foot, however. I'll take the majority of our forces to on the airship, and we will scout, hopefully trying to find wherever Kauai is based out of. In the meantime, if you go to the Mahawahi Wastes and try and investigate whatever was happening with that skiff, that might be the best way to distribute our forces, our relatively limited forces at this junction in time.
I agree.
I love this plan. This is a good plan.
One thing though, Minerva, don't try to fight him on your own.
I will evaluate the circumstances as necessary.
I think just not.
I hate to talk you out of a good fight, Minerva, but if you have at least the opportunity to let other people know, send signals or whatever about you getting into a fight with this dude.
You see a slight quiver of the tremble of anger that goes across her face, and she will declare, I am well aware of my current capabilities. Thank you.
I wasn't suggesting that, I did notice she didn't stand up to us, but
I kind of cut Peleus off a little bit.
Look,
and I say,
she definitely knows how to measure a situation and make the right call. And that's what she's going to do.
Yes. If you need to let us know anything very important, I've given you a tool to let us know. And I tap my wrist.
She'll make a brief confused face and then a realization and says, oh, yes, certainly.
All right. Let's do this. We've got a mad doctor to catch.
Okay. So the party is heading south to the Mahawahi Wastes.
Yep.
Minerva is heading to scout this area of the ocean, and one of her men is huffing it on foot as fast as possible to Raquel to send a message. Hopefully to, I presume, be picked up at Telgard City later.
I don't want to be that guy.
Well,
yeah, it's going to suck for him.
Eventually it just goes to the post, and it's hey, or however they distribute their military orders.
Yes, eventually
it goes to the guy who taught me, in Row Village. It's hey, you guys need to be, do the, move yourself up to one on your thing. This is your job.
But yeah, no, communications are pretty challenging in this world. Instant communication is not readily available, generally speaking.
Yeah, if he strikes tomorrow, they're effed. If he strikes next week, maybe they'll be ready to at least fight them off long enough for us to get there.
But okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's what we're going to call it today. I think we have a plan for what we're going to do next session. Fun fact.
No.
This is where all my preparation was. It was all here.
I was about to say.
That's
I got
Almost
you.
made it. Almost.
almost made it to the part where I did the preparation.
Don't worry, we are going to find a way to avoid going there next time.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. You were trying really hard to avoid going there this session. You were doing really good at that. I'm going to need to get like another token for Minerva's airship since you're now working in conjunction with her.
Hell yeah.
I also think that you guys should, despite the fact that it's normally gestured by Fabula points, I really just like the way you guys were interacting and you didn't feel the need to spend Fabula points, which is fine. But I think you deserve a little bit of extra XP. So rather than the standard 5 XP, I'm gonna give you 7.
Oh,
Just
juicy.
gonna give us 10. Wow. So
Seven.
We leveled up again. Awesome.
Not 17. 7.
Oh, wow, 17. So generous. I'm ready to fight.
I'm happy with how that went. I'm a little sad that all the stuff I prepared for.
Look at it this way: you bought yourself relaxation time in this next off week.
It's true. I don't need to do anything until like next. Like January, I think. Right?
Yeah.
we could just play 3 weeks in a row.
Go fuck yourself. I really did like the nightmare scene. I thought it was very.
It was so good.
I was kind of thinking about using a Fabula point to self-insert me into his dream.
Hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't have stopped you. Like, it's completely unabashedly reasonable.
Okay, I would have appeared completely naked in his dream. So,
But why?
I mean, if you had, then I would have had to have joined you. And
Oh my goodness. Good. Fantastic. Love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are rating out now. Everyone, bye-bye. I love you.
bye.
bye.
Bye.